Singube. I am the Assistant Director for this program. This evening, before we get started, I thought it would be good for us to just hear from the word of the Lord. And I decided to share my favorite text in the Bible. Perhaps, well, not my favorite, but one of my favorites. And that is Psalms 133, verse 1. And it says, "Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity." I love this text because God, through his servant David, reminds us that in whatever we do, wherever we find ourselves as a grouping of people, we need to make sure that we prioritize unity, and that as we go about doing life, we do so united, and we strive and we fight to remain united. There is nothing as beautiful as seeing a united family, a united church, a united community, a united organization. Now, I thought that as we begin this journey or on this course, it's important for us to remind each other of the need to be united, of the need to deal with each other respectfully, such that we will continue on this 30-day journey that we are on as one family, as a family of brothers and sisters who value and appreciate each other. I mention this because we're a very diverse group. We have different nationalities represented. We have people living in different time zones. We are going to speak differently. We're going to express ourselves differently. We are going to perceive things differently. However, it is important that we remain united, because when we are united, it will be such a beautiful journey. It will be such a beautiful experience for all of us. There is one ethnic group here in my country, in Zimbabwe, where I live, that has an idiom of expression that says that something to the effect that there is nothing that unifies people as food. And our core business here this month is food. So it is my sincere hope and my prayer that as we cook together, as we learn together, we are going to be united. Why it is also important for us to be united is that the kind of cooking and the plant-based nutrition that we're going to learn about here is something that the world out there needs. When I read from the Spirit of Prophecy, from the writings of Ellen White, she emphasizes greatly the need for well-prepared food to be served in our homes, to be served in our institutions as well. But there is one book that I am enjoying reading currently, and that is the Health Food Ministry book. And she places great emphasis on the importance of us who have this knowledge going out there and establishing restaurants, creating manufacturing businesses that will offer the world this plant-based nutrition. Now, for us to be able to do that as a team of people that are on this campaign to enlighten the world about the need to return to a plant-based diet, it is important for us to be united, to share information, share ideas, share opportunities, and that way all of us will grow together as we serve in our various capacities. So may the Lord bless us today as we embark on this course. May He be with us throughout the course, and may He teach us how to continue being united on this journey. Shall we bow our heads as we pray? Eternal Heavenly Father, who is in heaven and who is here below, we want to thank you, Lord, for bringing us together as men and women from different walks of life. Some may have never met before, others may be friends, colleagues, relatives. But today you have brought us together, and we pray that you will be with us throughout this journey. We pray for health for all our presenters. We pray for health for everyone who is a participant on this course, such that we may be able to successfully complete the course together. And now, as we commence the program for today, I present Davina in your hands. Use her and speak through her like you've never done before. And Lord, when all is said and done, may we hear you say, "Go and do the work that I have assigned you." And may our response be, "I will go." We ask for the strength of both the Holy Spirit and his help to help us understand all that we will learn. Through Jesus Christ, our Redeemer and our King, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Davina, I will hand back to you.
Thank you very much, Lucy, and thank you very much. Once more, I just want to say welcome to everyone to another session, or rather to the first session of part 5 of the VeganTrition Cooking and Nutrition course. So this is the 5th time around we are running this cooking course. So you are the 5th class, and we just want to say welcome and thank you very much for signing up to this course. And we hope that by the end of today, or by the end of this course, you would feel completely empowered. Your needs that you came here for would have been completely met and overmet, basically. And you will be ready, you will be roaring just to go out there and to share this newfound knowledge with others to help to empower them as well as you help others with their health. Now, firstly, for today's session, I am going to tell you a little bit about myself and what has inspired me to do this course, to start this course. So what I would like you to do firstly is to grab a bottle of water. Now this is gonna be a long haul of a session, but it is normally good as far as I'm aware. Hope today will go just the same. So I'm gonna encourage you to grab yourself a bottle of water, and you can grab a pen as well and a little piece of paper. You may need to make a few notes. There may be a few things that we may say that you may just need to write down for your own benefit. And I just want to say, make yourselves comfortable for this session, right? So with that said, I'm also going to make myself comfortable. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, which we did yesterday. So for those of you who were present yesterday, this part it's not going to be new to you. However, I will just go through it again for the benefit of those who were not here. Then I'm going to tell you a little bit about what inspired me. I'm getting a little bit of feedback sometimes. I'm not sure anyone else is hearing a little feedback sometimes. I will go through and I will share with you my story, right? And then after my story, we will hear from you. What is it you are looking for? What is it you're expecting? What are your expectations? What do you hope to achieve from this course? And at that point, we, the directors of this course, will make some notes. All the directors of this course will also introduce themselves to you as well, so you can know them and you can know a little bit about them in just a nutshell. so you can know who are the main directors on this course when you need information. Even though there are other supporters who I will make mention of their names, you need to know the four of us who are the main directors. And I am Davina. So firstly, let's run through this course outline. So today we're going to do an overview of the course, which is basically what we're going to be doing now. What is the aim of this course? This course does have an aim and it does have a sole purpose. The aim and the purpose of this course is literally to help people from all walks of life to reverse diseases and to prevent diseases by eating, understanding nutrition, and how to eat healthily. Now, since we're going to be cooking, we also strongly believe in cooking delicious foods, right? We don't believe that we should put foods on plate that are unpalatable because, firstly, we eat with our eyes, and when you see the food and it looks good, then we start to produce the saliva, we start to produce the enzymes to break down this food, to digest this food. That way, your body is then better able to absorb the nutrients from this food that it needs. When food is presented on a plate and it doesn't look good, you have no appetite for it. And when you eat without an appetite, then your body doesn't produce as much digestive juices as it has the potential to do. And thus you may find yourself coming down with some digestive disorders because the food may take much longer to digest because you didn't produce enough digestive juices. You may eat while you're under stress, which again affects the digestion. It just snowballs, right? When your food doesn't look good and your appetite is not open up for it and you force yourself to eat because you know that, okay, I'm eating because I just have to eat, then it has a snowball effect and that affects your health. So here, our aim is to help to prevent and to reverse lifestyle diseases with a good plate of food. All right. Then a few of the ingredients, and I will tell you how I reverse my diseases with some delicious, healthy food. But before we go into that, a few of the essential ingredients, and this is where you may need to take notes, right? So firstly, we're going to look at the ingredients that you may need for tomorrow's class, which I've already posted in the group. So tomorrow's class session, there is no cooking today. That's the first thing. So that's why you can have a bottle of water and you can relax. Make yourselves comfortable because there will be absolutely no cooking today. But tomorrow, I would love to see all the videos unmuted, right? And I would love to see everyone in their kitchens with their heads covered, or at least if their hair is it's not flying all over the place, then that's fine. Can someone put the time of the class in the group, please, in the classroom? Is somebody just put the time, what time this course starts? Because someone is asking me that, right? So you want to come to your class tomorrow in your apron. So if you've got a chef's apron or any sort of apron, it's good to have that for class tomorrow. It's good to have a nice, good, solid cutting board. If even with your good, solid cutting board, you want to have like maybe some paper towel or something like that that you could just damp it and put it under your cutting board so it holds your cutting board stable and in place, right? So that's what the cloth does for your cutting board, so you don't cut yourself when you're trying to chop your vegetables, etc., right? So for tomorrow you need a nice sturdy cutting board. You will need a tea towel or paper towel that is damp to put underneath your cutting board to hold it safely in place, and you will need a proper knife, right? You will need a proper knife for tomorrow. You may use a vegetable peeler if you don't have one, not to stress, but a vegetable peeler is something that you want to have in this course nonetheless. You also want to have a nice big stock pot tomorrow. Now, if you don't have what is called a stock pot, then you can just have a nice big pot that you can boil stuff in. So pot, you're looking for something that you can boil stuff in because you'll be making soups tomorrow. But firstly, we're going to start with stock. So for the stock, you want to use your biggest pot, basically, because the stock uses a lot of water. So you want a big pot that can, a lot of water to cover your vegetables, right? And we'll start out with that. So first thing, as we hit the class tomorrow, we are going to start with the stock, right? We're going to start with making the stock. And then afterwards, we'll probably talk about a little bit of theory. But because of the interest of time, where normally it would be the other way around, where we would start with the theory and then go into the practical. But for tomorrow's lessons, we will do it differently. What we may actually do is to pre-record the theory and send it in the group before the class begins, long before the class begins, so you can listen to the theory and have an idea of what that class sort of covers. And then you come into the class, we're going to start bang on in the kitchen with the stock. Then after we finish the cooking, we can sit down over a nice bowl of soup with some pita bread, and we can discuss some of the theoretical aspect of the lesson for tomorrow, right? Now, separate and apart from your good cutting board and a solid knife and your cloth and your apron and your chef's hat, what else will you need for tomorrow? For your pots, your soup, for your soup, the ingredients that you're looking for your stock is, you want to have, and I've posted it in the group. So even regard with whatever I'm saying here today, you need to make sure you're seeing that information that I've posted in the group, because I may just miss off a few things that you may find important, which is in writing. So what you will need for tomorrow, for the stock, these are some ingredients that make a really good stock that you want to have in your stock. Onions, and don't limit yourself to one onion. You can have more than one onion. Remember first, right, we're going to practice cutting these ingredients, right? Different types of cut. Large dice, medium dice, small dice, Chippendale, mincing. We're going to do different types of cuts tomorrow. And then all this leftover stuff that you've just cut, what do you do with them? Now we're going to throw them in the big stock pot. We're going to make a stock out of it, and then from that stock, we're going to use that stock to make soups, right? So you want to make sure you have for your stock pot, you want to have some onion, you want to have some garlic, you want to have some celery, you want to have some bay leaf, you want to have some fresh thyme, you want to have a little piece of ginger, you can have as well a little piece of turmeric, you want to have, if you can get some cumin, some cardamom, some star anise, you want to get herbs and spices, right, for your stock pot. In terms of vegetables, you definitely want to have your carrots. You definitely want to have your parsnips. So your carrot and your parsnips take your stock, and with your celery, takes your stock flavor to another level, right? The parsnip it gives it such a nice meaty flavor, right? And everybody knows parsnip, that I'm not talking about any flesh here, right? This is a piece of root vegetable, but it takes the stock pot to a different level, right? So you want to make sure, try your best to get some parsnips. Celery is also very good in soups. You want to have some, and you want to have some, some salt, which you can make your stock with or without salt. It's up to you how you do it, right? I will take questions, but just at the end when I've finished going through this, I'll take questions. Don't want to break this flow right here. All right, so that's for the stock. Everyone will be required to make the stock. You will need to have storage jars for the stock. So once the stock is made, you're going to be bottling some of the stock, and you're going to put it in your fridge for a later date. Some you're going to use at that point as a base for your soups. for your soup that you will do. Now, we will also do a broth, which is it's just like a little step up from the stock. It's basically the stock served with, you can have something like, if you have any soy sauce, that would be nice to go with your broth, or, and this is not written on your paper, right? Because this one we normally just say what's in your cupboard sort of thing, right? For the broth. So once you've got your stock ready, you can put some in a little small pot. You literally just want one serving portion for the broth, just to test this out. So you could either have something like soy sauce, which the soy sauce is vegan, right? However, if you want to do a wheat-free alternative, you can have something like the liquid amino, right? Or liquid smoke that you can use for instead of the soy sauce. So if you have that, you could use that instead. You may just need just a couple of splashes of that. Also, you can have a little tiny tot of tomato paste that also can go in your broth. And you definitely want to have some fresh spring onions. So for tomorrow, be sure to have some spring onions. And you can have a little piece of mint, or if you don't have mint, you can have basil, either one of them. So that's your broth right there. Nothing much. It's a very light soup, and tomorrow we'll tell you more about what that is. It's often just used as a starter to whet the appetite, basically. And you don't need nothing much of it if you're going to drink any before you start a meal. Nothing more than a quarter cup, right? Nothing more than a quarter cup you will need. Now, after you have made your stock and you take that little bit out, which is, you basically just gonna do one cup that you could share maybe for 2 or 3 persons, right? When it's finished. So that's your broth, so you can see an idea of what a broth is. Then we're gonna use now some of your stock to make soups. It's gonna be the base for your soup. That's where your soup is gonna get the most of its flavor from. Then now for your soup, you need to have some life to it. You need to have some body to it. What are you going to use to give your soup some character? You're going to use some vegetables, like you may do a beetroot soup. So you could do something like a beetroot and carrot soup, or beetroot and ginger soup, or beetroot, carrot, and ginger soup. Or you can also do a creamy beetroot soup. So you could grab some coconut cream or some soy cream. Or if any of you already know how to make any other creams, like your cashew cream or any other nut cream, you can grab that. Best cream to have with your soups is the onion cream. If you know how to do that and you want to do that from before class, you can do it. You don't know how to do that, just make sure you have a tin of coconut cream. And I'm talking about the liquid coconut cream here, right? The not the coconut milk that is in the box that you would drink as an alternative to your soy milk. No, I'm not talking that one. I'm talking about the one normally is in the can. You do sometimes get it in boxes, but it's very rare, but it is possible, right? It's just that sometimes the shops have it, sometimes they don't. All Pro does a really good coconut single cream, and it's really good. If you find that, normally I find it at Waitrose. Normally I find it at Waitrose. Just give me a moment. Let me respond to this. Yeah. So normally I find it at Waitrose, but sometimes it's just not always there. You may find it at Asda as well. Again, sometimes it's not always there. Now I know things are a little bit crazy and a little bit tricky everywhere. You can't really find the things that you normally use. So the canned coconut cream is fine if that is the one you find. A very good brand is D-Roy or something like that. Or you have other good brands which are, you want to look for something as natural as possible, right? That's what you're looking for. Alternatively, if you know how to make coconut cream already, you can make it before the class, but we're not teaching you that tomorrow. We'll teach you how to make creams another time. Tomorrow, it's literally just get yourself a can of coconut cream or a box of soya single. or a box of coconut cream. If you only get the milk, the box of coconut milk that you would drink as an alternative, so if that's all you can get, let that be your very, very last option. Then you let us know before the class starts so we can tell you how to turn that into cream. But let that be your last option. Please try and get the coconut cream. So you want to have that. If you want to make a creamy soup, you want to have your coconut cream. Vegetables that you can use that makes a really nice creamy soup, things like your broccoli, a cream of cauliflower soup, cream of broccoli soup, cream of pumpkin soup or butternut squash. Those make really nice cream soup, right? Other soups that you can make leek. So that's now we're outside of the cream section. Let me just scroll down so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. So then you can have we're outside of the cream soups, right? So those are your options for your cream soup, and this is posted in the group. So please do look at what is posted in the group. I've sent a list that I've typed up, right? Please use that as your guide. Hearty, you can make a hearty vegetable soup, right? So you can make your hearty vegetable soups in many ways, right? And tomorrow we'll go through different ways of making your hearty vegetable soup. But some of the vegetables that you will want in your vegetable soup, if you're gonna make it hearty, you want to have things like your potatoes. For those in the Caribbean, again, you can get potatoes easily, but you can also use things like your yam. Okay, if you're in the course, if you're on this platform now, then send me the messages afterwards because they are a bit distracting. This is the link. I believe everybody should have the link by now. Let's see. Sorry, let me just forward this link to one more person. Okay. All right. I hope that's everybody trying to get in will actually get in now. Right. So yes, for your hearty vegetable soup, as I said, it can be done in a number of ways. If you want to have your vegetables where you actually like to have your vegetables where you can see them floating in your soup, you can bite on them. Then when you have a soup like that, you can also add something like some noodles to it, so you can get yourself some gluten-free noodles, or you can get some gluten-free flours and we can make some little cocktail gluten-free dumplings to add to your soup. If you want that in it, you can do your soup without that, right? But this is called a hearty vegetable soup. I have a special one that I normally make and I call it Sabbat Soup. So when you have that soup, you don't need anything more. It's a complete meal. It really fills you up. You don't need any bread or nothing like that to go with it. Then you've got like a creamy kind of vegetable soup, a velouté, where you have everything nice and smooth that you don't need the noodles for. So as I said before, your yams, your potatoes, things like your cassava, dasheen, eddos, these come in handy in your hearty vegetable soup. Then, oh boy, can Bussy, can you send, or anyone, can you send a link to Genevieve, please? Sonia, maybe you can send a link to Genevieve for this class.
Okay.
Thank you. Hearty, yeah, I finished with the hearty vegetable soup. Then a bean soup. You can make a bean soup if you like beans. You can make a bean soup. You can make a minestrone, which is like a tomato-based soup, but it also has beans in it and it has potatoes and other vegetables. You could make a minestrone. It's in the group, right? It's in the group in more details. A beautiful soup that I like to make is lentil soup. You can use the red lentil. I think that makes perfect and the easiest soup ever there is and the fastest soup you can ever make. So if you want a quick soup on a Friday evening, you know, you're running late on a Friday evening to have a nice hearty dinner after work, ABC, red lentils straight away, right? And you put it on, and you put it on with your coconut cream, your onion, your garlic, some star anise, and some cumin and cardamom at the same time with your water. Everybody in one go. And in no time, in 20 to 30 minutes max, that soup is ready. Absolutely delicious. All right. Anyway, that's just to say one of the soups that you can make. Any lentil soup, any beans. And there I've mentioned some of the herbs that go nicely with it. Tomato-based soup, you could make a tomato and onion soup. You could make a minestrone soup. There tomato and basil soup as well. That we can go through a few of those tomorrow. And this is basically some of the basic ingredients that you would need for it. But when you look on the group, the text that I've actually sent, it has more details. You can make leek and potato soup. That's also a very nice soup and a very British soup as well. Now, some pita bread we're going to be making tomorrow, and all you need for your pita bread is flour and the plain yogurt. You can use 2 ingredients. You can step this up a notch. Obviously, you need some salt. You can step this up a notch, right, by adding a little aluminum free baking powder, or whatever baking powder you have you can use, but we will tell you about the difference between the aluminum and the non-aluminum baking powder as we go through this course. Then for stepping it up a notch, you can also have some sesame seeds and some mixed herb. Something like Italian herb will go nicely with this pita bread, or any mixed herb really can go nicely as well with this pita bread. There's ways to step it up a notch. Okay. All right, so that's the ingredients for tomorrow's lesson. Now we're gonna look at some of the essential ingredients for this class. Oops. And right here, I'm hoping everyone is seeing my screen nicely. Let me make this a little bit bigger. All right, beautiful. What we've got right here is some essential equipment, essential tools and equipment. And I'm starting from the left, my left column here. That's where I'm starting from. So we're going to go through some of the tools. Definitely you will need for this class, so every single session you will need to have your cutting board ready before class and your knife sitting on your cutting board. Based on what we are going to prepare, you may want to have your baking trays out, or your loaf tin, or your muffin tin, or your little pans, stuff like that. You want to have those out. Things that you want to be, that will need to be greased, you can grease them from beforehand. Things like your grease-proof paper, or we also call it parchment paper. It's also called baking paper. These are things that we use a lot of, so you want to make sure that you have them at hand. Easy access in your kitchen, right? A food processor is something we use all the time. So if you have it in a box on top of the counter, on top of the cupboard, at the highest shelf, take it down, make sure it is working, have it at hands level. Your blender, if it is in a box upstairs in the loft, take it down as well, clean it up, and have it at hand level. You will be using these all the time. Sometimes you're gonna wish you had 2 or 3 blenders that you could just use one after the other, right? High-speed blender is good. If you have the bullet, that's good. Sometimes the quantity though may need something bigger than a bullet, but you're gonna need your blender. Spatula, you're gonna need a spatula for this course. You will find you're doing something and you may need to probably nut butter, so you need to continually scrape it down, scrape it down, scrape it down. This is where your spatula comes in nice and handy. So a nice hard rubber flexible spatula. You may find that you need a steaming basket or a colander that can drain your vegetables. It can drain stuff. One thing that you're surely gonna need is cheesecloth. If you don't have cheesecloth, I hope you have a few pantyhose or your wife's pantyhose that she's willing to part with or that you're willing to part with, that you just give a nice little wash and you may be able to use that. But there are certain things that are really fine in texture that we will want to strain, and we want to get all the particles so you can get a nice, smooth, silky finish, velvety finish, right? So it's good to have your cheesecloth. Cheesecloth is what we officially use in the kitchen, right? So I'm telling you from beforehand. So this week, if I see anybody using pantyhose for this week, I'll forgive you. But by next week, I don't want to see any pantyhose or t-shirt or anything like that being used. Have your cheesecloth, right? Because your cheesecloth is something that you will find that you will use it a lot in your very own kitchen, and it does make a difference. A strainer, always important to have a strainer for this class. Some tongues, you may need some tongues, not absolutely necessary. I can't remember us doing anything where I ever needed tongues to carry out the job. A box grater does the very same thing that your food processor can do. But if you want to have a grater, it's also good to have a grater because you have 4 different sides on the grater. But maybe some of you have the food processor with the different blades that you can get different cuts, all right? So either way, either one will work. A mixer. That will save you a lot of work when we're doing the cakes if you have a mixer. But if you don't, you just make sure you have a whisk, because you'll have to whisk that. You may have to whisk. Well, honestly, I'm going to suggest that you get a mixer, because when we get to that aquafaba, that's going to be a lot of woman power or a lot of man power, right? So if you don't have a mixer, consider investing in one, because we do some nice, delicious cakes as well at this class that save yourself some time and some elbow grease. Mixing bowls, you'll always need mixing bowls, different sizes, because you will be seasoning stuff. You'll need your mixing bowls. Storage containers. I can't say more about storage containers. So for example, when you do cheese, you will need some nice little ramekins. Can Boosie or anyone else, or if Telma is on this class, anyone else that has some ramekin that could just show the students what a ramekin is that you can use you will need when you're doing the cheese. Because what happened is, at the lessons, we're teaching you how to make cheese, but we're going to be showing you how to make a few different types of cheese. So we don't want you to use too much ingredients so you have this big one large cheese and you have several of that. No, we'll use small ramekins just so you can have like taste the portions, right? So you can then go back now after you've finished. You say, okay, I like these 3 here, but I don't like these 2. So you know the 3 that you like, you sort of focus on those 3 recipes, and then going forward now you can make larger batches of the ones that you actually like. All right, what else? A casserole dish. So we will use a casserole dish. It can be used for many things. You cook your stews and stuff sometimes in casserole, in the oven, that is. We also do baking in our casserole dish, and we do our no-bake cheesecakes oftentimes in our casserole dish. Pots and pans you're gonna need for cooking. You may need a skillet, saucepans, plates. One thing that and teapots, right? I never mentioned that before, it's not on the list, but teapot, you will need a nice teapot set, because one section of the course is on teas, and you will need to do some nice displays with your nice teapots. If you have some nice, what you call it, placemats or doilies or whatever, you want to set something up like you would see at a tea party. And if you have any of them little cake stands that you can put some muffins and stuff on, then we will do some of that as well. You can put your muffin, cookies, biscuits, stuff like that on your like a cake stand, and we have the different types of teas that we're going to teach you how to make, right? So we have Nadia, who we need to add to this group, by the way. Loaf tin, did I mention a loaf tin is a good thing to have, because we do loaves here. All right, so agar ingredients. Now we're at the interesting part. So that's the equipment. Oh, one equipment that I did not mention that is very good for you to have is the dehydrator. And maybe Sister Myrtle can send a link to a dehydrator in the group, or any one of my other colleagues can send a link for the dehydrator. A food dehydrator is something, just find a one with a really reasonable price that could be delivered quickly if somebody wanted to order it. It's a brilliant piece of equipment to have in your house, especially at a time as this. And Myrtle will do a lesson where she will talk to you about how you can use the dehydrator, especially in this time, right, to store your preserve your food. Okay, so agar, that's a sweetener. That's something, it's a plant-based sweetener. It's very similar in taste to honey or maple syrup. So you can have different types. You can have honey, you can have maple syrup, you can have agar. Or if you want to just use agar, it's up to you. But these are just, you need to have a couple of sweeteners. You need to have a sweetener for the class. Whatever one you find or whatever one you prefer, you can use. Some seeds, linseeds. You want to have your seeds for this course. So some seeds is your sunflower seeds, your pumpkin seeds, your sesame seeds. You have black seeds as well, or black nigella seeds. You also have black sesame seeds. You have your honey. I've mentioned that already. Then you want to have your nuts, right? You want to have variety of nuts. So let's say cashew, pecan, almond, walnut, Brazil, hazelnut, peanuts, right? So while peanut is officially a legume, we oftentimes just use it in the capacity as a nut. But you need to have your nuts. Cashew nut, we do use a lot on the course. So it's good to have some sort of, cashew nut. Yeast flakes, as I mentioned yesterday, that's an optional ingredient. If you don't take yeast, worry not. Get yourself some mushroom powder, onion powder, garlic powder, smoked paprika, as well as allspice, the grounded one. If you can get it grounded, that would be really good. So that's if you don't take yeast. These things put together can give you a nice umami flavor. Your blackstrap molasses is a good thing to have for this course because we use it to make a lot of things from scratch, right? Some herbs and spices, cumin, and we don't use a lot, right? When you use these, you use just a small amount just to improve the flavor of the food, depending on what you're making, right? Cumin, cardamom, turmeric, rosemary, bay leaf, tahini, pimento, cloves, star anise, cardamom, or did I say cardamom? I already did. Olive oils. So when it comes on to oils, you want to have more than one oil. So you want to have a variety of oils. You want to have your coconut oil, one thing. You want to have your olive oil. Those two, don't be out of them. Right? Don't be out of your coconut oil. Don't be out of your olive oil. We look for mechanically extracted or cold press coconut or oil or olive oil. Another oil that you can have is rice bran oil. This oil is, if we have to cook anything in oil, the rice bran oil is recommended, or the sesame seed oil. These two oils have very high smoke temperature. Okay, but while you may do one, maybe maximum two or so dishes in this class, out of all the dishes that you may need to cook something in oil, but just in case you have to, that's the oil that we recommend. Okay, it's not either necessary either, because we can throw the stuff in the oven. All right, some easily volatile ingredients, meaning they can go off easily, that you may want to have, that don't come in, that this is not in powder form, is like your celery. And like, for example, today with your soup, tomorrow with your soup, you want to have celery. You want to have some sweet pepper as well. So these are not necessarily essential because these are ingredients that you will see from the recipes what you need for the next day, right? And this is where the fresh ingredients comes in. So your onions, your garlic, your spring onion, your thyme, your fresh herbs, your basil, your parsley, your coriander, your cilantro. These you will need. You can buy as you need them. You don't need to buy these and put them down. Onions though, onions won't go off that fast, so you can have a whole bag of onions in your house. Your lime or your lemon, you will need to have a lot of that for this class. So always have lime or lemon in the fridge. Your garlic and your onion, they don't go off that fast. Your spring onion, that will last you probably about a week. So if it would be good if you're growing it in your house, then that makes life much easier. Things like your psyllium husk, you can get this at Holland and Barrett. There is xanthan gum as well, which we may not use. I mean, it works very well in some recipes to give it a really nice firm texture, but it's not necessary. It's not an essential ingredient that you need to have. It's just one of those ingredients that if you want it, if you want to use it and you haven't got it, you just don't have it, because it's not something that you can pop down to Waitrose and pick up, right? I mean, not that I'm aware of. I've never just picked that up off the shelf like that. It's normally one of those ingredients that you would need to order online. Psyllium husk, you may need to get at your health food store. It may be cheaper to actually order it online, because when it is in the health food stores, oftentimes it is marketed as a bowel cleanse. So you may end up paying a bit more for it at a health food store than online. But it is food. It is food, people. It is food. All right. Dry basil. Sorry, dry basil you can have, but a fresh one, you want to buy the fresh one the day that you're going to use it or a day prior. And I always prefer to buy the basil, the one that is in the pot that's growing. And basil goes nicely in salads, it goes nicely in soups, it goes nicely in sauces, it goes brilliant in your pasta dish, with your pasta dishes. Okay, and we do use the basil in pestos as well. And that's what we use it mainly for on this course. Now, potato, again, that's not an ingredient that you need to buy beforehand. You can buy that the day before. Even though if you buy your potatoes in a bag and put them down, they don't go off that quickly. But you don't want to have them starting to grow. Even though if they're starting to grow, you can always plant them. But we do use things up here. Another thing that you can have is potato flour. Potato flour or potato starch, right? Is something, potato starch is something that you can just buy a small bag of and just keep that at home. You will find that we may use it. I did mention before parsnip, coconut milk, soy, single cream, your plant-based milks, your yogurt. Sorry, your yogurts, your plain, a tub of plain vegan yogurt is needed for tomorrow. But those of you who were on the lesson yesterday, on the taster session, you would have learned how to make some sort of yogurt. You can make a plain yogurt for tomorrow. Or you can just buy, as I said, 250 grams of yogurt in Tesco as the Waitrose, your supermarket. The corn pieces, we will be doing a lesson on corn so you can understand more about corn. What exactly is it? Is it food or is it not food? Likewise, we will do a lesson on soya, and we have Dr. Winston J. Craig from Andrews University, as well as Loma Linda, who will be presenting the lecture on soya. So when I say dry soya here, what do I mean? I mean the textured vegetable protein, the one that you normally have to rehydrate. So I get a good quality one, which is non-GMO, at House of Natural Foods. So if you Google that, House of Natural Foods, you will see it come up. You can log on to their website, and that is something that you could purchase. It's good to have a few of those for this course. A variety of beans and lentils, something called tempeh, you can have as well. Your grains. Oh, so the one that I messaged today that I actually put in the text, I didn't put the grains on it, but that's something that is very important for you to have in this class. And you want to have a variety of grains. So you can have your quinoa, you can have your amaranth, you can have your things like spelt, your different types of flour, spelt, rye, barley, right? You can have some of these. So your grains, your grains, your grains, your grains, your grains, because we do a lecture on ancient grains, and we also make grain loaf. Your corn flour, this is the one that I find most confusing, because a lot of times the word corn flour is used interchangeably with the word cornstarch. So for example, Busi, what do you use in your country to find the white one? Or anyone else can answer.
Cornstarch.
Cornstarch, that is myrtle, right?
That's myrtle.
Right, and it's the white one that they call cornstarch in your country.
Correct.
Right, in my country, it's the white one as well that they call cornstarch. But in the UK, it's the white one that is called corn flour. So the names are both used interchangeably, and it just literally depends on the country where you're at. But in the UK, a place that imports a lot of stuff, you may find the white one being called corn flour as well as cornstarch. You may find the yellow one, which called corn flour as well as cornstarch. Now the yellow part is the whole corn, the white part is made from the endosperm. All you need is the white one, right? You don't need the yellow one. But as a yeah?
Is it the same as maize meal?
No. No. It's different.
It's different.
Yeah. So saucepans. Oh, I've done that already. Large display plates. A rolling pin. Did I say a rolling pin? It's good to have a rolling pin. All right. So corn flour, arrowroot seed, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. Yeah, variety of pins. Okay. Yes, I think wraps. It's good to have some wraps. I keep my wraps in my freezer. We'll teach you anyway how to make wrap on this course. All right, so here, that's the essential list of ingredients. It's also the ingredients for tomorrow. It's also the essential equipment list. And as I said, one of my colleagues will send you the link for the dehydrator, which is an amazing piece of equipment to have, especially at a time like this. And Myrtle will talk to you about that at another time. So let's go through the class outline, the course outline, what is going to come for each day's lesson. Right, so Tuesday, we have Boosie, who will be presenting on why go vegan and vegan nutrition, right? But we will be doing these theoretical parts afterwards. We're going to start firstly with the cooking, right? And I've just turned that around because a lot of times this stuff goes really over in a long time. We're going to start with the cooking, and afterwards we can discuss some theoretical stuff. Then, or we may do why go vegan actually another day, even though the best day to do it is at the beginning of the course. Tuesday, I don't know, I'm hoping nobody's hearing my phone. Oh, Boosie got kicked out. So Tuesday, our main focus is on the cooking, right? Is on the cooking and the cutting techniques. So if we don't get to do the theoretical part, as I said, we will pre-record some of the theories, right? So you can still get them. But the important thing is to get the practicals done. An assignment that you... So by the way, this course does come with assignments. Does come with mini quizzes, and it does come with a final exam. Nothing whatsoever to fear. Nothing to fear. They are so easy, you will realize you could pass them with your eyes closed. So a short display of your favorite recipe and how you can adapt that or modify it to a vegan recipe. All right. And at the end of each class, we discuss what you're going to be doing for the preparation for the next day, for the next day's lesson. All right. So Wednesday, we're going to be looking at food combination, and we're going to do vegetable salads, and we're going to do salad dressing. And this is where the dehydrator comes in. We're going to do onion crackers as well. Thursday, we're going to look at the theoretical aspect of ancient grains as well as heavy metal detoxing. All right. So we'll have, sorry, even though we have some of these names here, we may have other teachers as well, because I believe the heavy metal is going to be Juliet. Oh yeah, her name is there. I didn't see that right. Friday now, we will go into some serious cooking. We will go into some serious cooking Friday, so please log on early for class so we can finish early. Whatever you cook on Fridays, it is your Sabbath dinner. You don't need to do anything more. After you clean up that kitchen and you step out of it at 11, 12 o'clock, you don't need to go back in your kitchen. You would have learned everything that you would have cooked everything that you and your family will be able to eat for Sabbath. Okay, and then the following week, we start the week on a Monday with legumes, and this is where Dr. Craig comes in. So we will do soy, and we'll do corn, and we'll do the vegetarian meats, right? And then, sorry, cooking practical. I've been up from very early. Cooking practical, we will have milks and creams. So we'll do milks and different types of milks and different types of creams. So we do the nut milk, we do different types of bean milks, we do seed milks. Then we turn these from milks into creams, and from creams, different types of creams, from creams to like mayonnaise, and we do different types of creams. So we do like sweet cream, we do like sour cream, we do like not soya cream, but like single cream, and we do like double cream. So different types of creams. I'll tell you what recipes they go well with as well, what type of dishes they go well with, they complement. And I don't think we're doing the yogurt. We won't be doing the yogurt that day, but there's another day when I think we do the yogurt. But you will know closer to the time. Then the Tuesday, we're going to do the Middle Eastern cuisine, right? And we're going to do the importance of breakfast as well as health principles. And for the Middle Eastern cuisine, we're going to do hummus, falafel, tabbouleh salad, as well as the tzatziki sauce, which I believe I talked you through last night, thanks to Myrtle. So we may change it and do something else instead of repeating that. Wednesday, we're going to do oils, salt, sweeteners, right? And while there won't be any practical that day, or if it's practical, it's really minimal. Just give me a moment. I need to silent this group. Okay, putting them on mute forever may really help. All right, that looks like I'm a bit safe for the moment. All right, so Thursday, we'll be doing butters, vegan butters and vegan cheeses, dips, mayonnaise, as well as tofu preparation. Friday, so Friday is always your big days, right? You're gonna do now a Mexican cuisine the Friday. So last course we did enchiladas, and we also did quesadilla, but the focus was on the enchilada. So this time it may be on bean burrito. Who knows? When we get closer to the time, at the end of the day, you still need the same ingredients for the Mexican cuisine. And we also, every Friday, we do a dessert. So every Friday you learn how to make a dessert. So it's either cheesecake, or there's so many desserts, or the fruit cake, something. So you learn to make a dessert every Friday. The following week, week 3, not more cooking. We'll go into Spanish cuisines, and we'll make frittatas and vegan omelets and eggs stuff like that. Tuesday, we'll be doing menu planning, and you would have learned enough recipes by now where you can plan a proper menu, right? So we'll do menu planning, teach you how to make some Asian stuff like sesame chicken. Then we'll teach you as well how to make chipati and matuke, right? So looking forward to those two, and as well as the peanut sauce, which is an amazing sauce to learn how to make as a vegan. Wednesday, we'll have Louise, and when you meet Louise, she's the funniest person on the team. Right? She will do vegan fried fish, and this is the only time you're probably going to use some oil in this class, right? She's going to do excavate sauce as well, and she's going to do a raw cheesecake. I think sometime before that, we're going to do a salad, which she will be demonstrating. Then Thursday is when we do the herbal teas blend. So by the Thursday of the third week, you need to have your fancy teapots and your fancy teacups ready, right? For the herbal tea blends. Friday, we have the cream. We have the recipe that will just top the whole course. The vegan lasagna with the homemade bechamel sauce, your creams. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. And we're going to do a dessert as well that day. Sunday, the 20. Oh, by the way, ignore these dates. Let's say like the 21st, 22nd, and stuff like that, right? Just ignore those numbers. It may be a different. We just know that this is the final. This is the third Sunday or fourth Sunday of the class, something like that, right? This is the Sunday before graduation. You're going to be turning your newfound skill into a business. So that will be run by Boosie, who is a entrepreneur coach, right? Then we'll have the Monday is of our business week. So the business week is when you can invite all your other friends and families to come out and sign up for the business week, right? And the business week, we do microgreens and sprouting, and you will understand about microgreens and sprouting, how important it is to know how to grow those too, how to, you can produce those on a commercial level for hotels and restaurants and earn from a room in your house, especially for those who are in the UK and don't have space to plant outside, how you can do this. And also for times when you have famine and you don't have a lot of stuff to eat, the amount of nutrients you get from microgreens and sprouting, you want to know how to do this. You're gonna learn how you can turn this into a business, the business aspect of things. What you need to have maybe distributors, maybe you need to have drivers, what you need to have to set this business up. It's a very practical, the course is very practical. It just cuts out all the winding this. It's like, okay, I have some money and I want to start a business today. Okay, here, this is what you do. When you don't have money, then you get taken around some long route where you have to go and sit down in a classroom. But when you say, okay, I have some money and I want to set this business up, what do I do? You get completely different advice from when you don't have money. I'm telling you. All right. So the advice you're getting here is as if you have money. Not like you have, right? I don't know your pockets, but I know some may not have. But the advice you're getting is, look, you want to do this? You want to start by next week, Monday? We have 8 days to get this business up and going and get these products on the shop shelves. That's the advice that you're going to be getting from here, right? Tuesday, ideal ways of planting, making your own organic pesticides, and things like that. Wednesday, using your kitchen scraps and how to do seasonal planting, because some things are better plant at other times. Some things are better plant at other times, right? Different times, sorry. They grow better planted at different times of the year. Get better results from them. Then we'll have business ideas for the country, right? And this is where you will look at different things. Because I know like many people want to leave the city and you want to go to the country, but you don't know what do you do because you've only ever worked in a city job all your life. look at different ways how you can use different talents and skills to turn it into a business and take it to the country with you that you can use to live from, make your income from, and decent income. There are people making 6-figure incomes. I'm talking about figures in pounds and figures in US dollars. 6-figure income, 7-figure income, right? So from their home, way more than they ever actually made from their city job. Then you will have your theoretical exam, and Friday is gonna be your big day. Nothing to fear. By the time you get to the business week, you will be very confident about the exam. You could walk into it smiling. It's not an exam that you need to fear. It's a lot of work though. It does require you to work, and it does require you to put your best out. But you are gonna be so proud of yourself, as some of you have probably seen some of the videos being put out by the students. They videoed their final exam, and they absolutely love it. So at this stage, my mouth is a little bit tired. Can I ask the other course directors? I'm just gonna stop sharing this. I'm gonna ask the other course directors just to introduce themselves, and then after them, then I'll tell you my personal story. So I'll get to drink a little bit of water and rest my mouth a little bit. So I'll start with my assistant, Lucy.
Hello again, everyone. My name is Zube. I am based in Harare, Zimbabwe. And my background really is far from cooking, professional chef, Davina, but I have always been very passionate about cooking. And it is my pleasure what I do throughout this month. And most importantly, to also just share ideas of how we can skills to very viable, profitable, productive businesses. So I am looking to interact with you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Busi. And now, Loy or Myrtle.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Loy Campbell Ross. I'm one of those individuals who has always been very interested in nutrition, and a vegan myself. I'm really very happy that I've been able to be a part of this team, because it has not only allowed me to learn so much more about how to better take care of my own body, but it means that I can also be better able to empower others and help others to grow in this area as well. And so for that, I'm very grateful. I'm looking forward to another learning experience with you. And I'm sure that at the end of all of this, we'll even be better, I like to say, better evangelists, because believe it or not, even with your cooking, that is an avenue that you can use to be influential in the lives of others. And I like the fact that God calls us to use whatever we have in our hand.
Yes.
So we have talents in so many areas. Another great interest of mine is sewing and designing, and I enjoy training people in that area as well. And I'm using whatever God has placed in my hands. And so I would encourage you to use whatever He's placed in your hands, and put it into good practice, and it will not come back to you without it being multiplied. I remember that parable of the servant who was given, the one I mean, who was given different amounts of talents. Some were given many, others were given just one. But because he was faithful with that one that he was given, how much more was multiplied? So you never know. Whatever your hand find to do it with all your might. because God is able to use that and multiply it and make it impactful in ways that you would not have even imagined. So I'd like to welcome you, and I'd like to pray also that the journey with this class for the month will be one that will not just be a transformation in cooking, but it will be a transformation in your life. It will be a transformation in all our lives as we grow to become better servants. So very nice to meet you all.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Myrtle Rogers, a past student of cooking school, class number 3. And from this class, I have become more confident to cook for others. Before, I've never considered myself as a cook. But now, with sharing the recipes that I've learned and the excitement I see from others, and the results that I've gotten and the comments that I've gotten from the items that I've cooked, I am now very confident that what I place on the table is good. Now, I'm a business owner, and I'm also a registered nurse for over 27 years. So this part of my journey is also to empower employees, clients, church members, friends, to do better regarding their health. Some people, they're not inclined to work on their diet until something happens where the doctor says, you have blank. And then all of a sudden, like, the importance of what they eat comes to play. And I'm glad that I am here at this point where I can give some suggestions, give some direction, give some support. Welcome to the class. And thank you in advance for all those new recipes that I'm going to get from you, because it's a learning experience that's going to go both ways. There are things in your part of the world that I do not have over here, and there are things over here that you may not know over there. So we both exchange on this platform. So I look forward to being with all of you, and welcome again.
Thank you very much.
Basil.
Yes. Thank you very much, Myrtle. That's lovely. Thank you very much as well, Loy, and thank you very much as well, Boosie. So on the course, you will have different teachers. So we will have, by the way, just to say that all the directors are all past students. That's just show you how wonderful this course is, that people who have done this course just see the benefit of it and the need of it in the community, that they want to be a part of it. And I'm just so happy for the support and the help and the encouragement and the company and the everything. Right now, other teachers that you may see from time to time is, you may see Juliet, you may see Shelley. So Juliet will probably be doing the heavy metal detoxing session, teaching you how to do the pesto, detoxing pesto. You will probably see Shelley, who will probably be going through the pita bread with you and a nice little dip. Or, oh yeah, she'll probably go through the pita bread tomorrow. If I'm not sure if she's going to go through it tomorrow, but we're going to see Shelley at some other point in time. We will have Sandra, who will be teaching us how to do the aquafaba and the cake, and using the aquafaba to make icing for the cake. We will have Louise, as I said, that's the funniest person who really brings character. She brings a different side to this course. Absolutely funny. You're going to love her. And you may have Melanie, who has missed a couple of courses because of other engagements, but she may be, sorry, I haven't strung in our house. Yes. You may have Melanie, who we missed on a couple of courses, but she may be around this one, who may help with the lessons on cheese and stuff like that. But in any case, I just want to say all your directors right here are qualified to teach you everything without the guest lecturers. But we love to have the guest lecturers because they bring interest to the course. So you don't have to see our faces all the time or hear our voices all the time, you know. You can get the recipe from someone else. By the way, just about all of them are past students as well. But students have left here and they've found recipes that they love and they've gone ahead and developed on it even more. And then it has become their specialty. And we love to give everyone the opportunity to share that, especially if they've really mastered it and it really looks good and it's top of the line. We love to give them that opportunity to share that information as well. So you may see them from time to time. All right, let me sit down now and tell you a little bit about what got this course started. Okay, so let's see, can you see me? All right, make sure you're all relaxed now, okay? So let me show you a picture firstly of myself. Where is my WhatsApp screen? Okay. Just gonna share a picture with you. All right. Here I am. Can you see this picture? No?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
we
Yes,
can.
we can.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can.
All right, good.
Wowza.
So the top pictures here, that's me. It's all me, 2013.
Wow.
This one on the exercise ball is myself as well, August 2017. And this one here in the orange top, let's see if I can make this bigger. Yeah, is 2017, about December 2017. So from 2013, this was taken, the one in the black top was taken February 2013. And then by December 2017, I'm half my dress size. Okay? All right, so let's get on to the story. Now, I lived a life that a lot of people thought that was the life. I was living the life. So I was the operations manager, restaurant manager and operations manager for, a restaurant in London, a group of restaurants in London. And I really used to enjoy my food, right? So I used to enjoy for breakfast. So I used to work some crazy hours, right? No temperance whatsoever. And if you know, if you know a little bit about health, you will know that when you don't get enough sleep, it affects your appetite and you crave sweet things more the next day. Sweet, salty, and fatty food. You will crave the next day when you don't get enough sleep the night before. So I used to work like crazy. Long hours, sometimes 16 hours for the day. Go home with work. Have the work right there in the bed. No, I was not a SDA then, but I am now. Right. So working crazy hours, getting up early morning, starting work very early. First meal would be at about 4 a.m. Several meals throughout the day. So like several breakfasts. I would not have one breakfast. I would have several breakfasts. So I would have a McDonald's breakfast. Firstly in the morning, I would have a McDonald's breakfast when I'm on the road. I would stop and I would get that wrap. I used to always get that McDonald's wrap, and I'd get my cup of coffee. I would always get my cup of coffee. That was the first breakfast at about in the early morning there. Then I used to be the operations manager, and we had this industrial kitchen that that run 24 hours, right? So in the night, there would be chefs there preparing foods that needs to be dispatched to different restaurants throughout, right? So that kitchen used to go on 24 hours. Part of my job would be to ensure that good food quality is coming out all the time, that the brand standards are maintained. So a part of ensuring good food quality, I enjoy this part. I go and I taste the food. I have to taste to make sure quality and standards are being met. So I taste and then I would sit down to my breakfast. That's not the McDonald's breakfast and that's not the tasting, right? So when I sit down to my breakfast would be something like curry goat with fried dumplings. All right. So that's my first meal. No, in my opinion, that's my first meal for the day because I don't count the McDonald's breakfast and I don't count the I don't count the McDonald's breakfast and I don't count the tasting that I've just tasted oxtail, I've just tasted jerk chicken, right? And my tasting of jerk chicken would be like either a quarter of jerk chicken or something like that wrapped up in some foil paper that I'm tasting while I'm on my way to another restaurant in the early morning or something, right? I just stop at the industrial kitchen just to grab something that I'm eating in the car, right? So I don't count that part as meal. What I count as meal is when I sit down and I breathe, right? And I now sit down with my knife and my fork and I'm having my fried dumpling with my curry goat. That is now my breakfast. And that's probably over some sort of meeting or something like that, right? So that's breakfast and I'd probably have a juice or something to go with that. And then I'm going to have lunch. At lunchtime, I'm now going to have lunch. And lunch will be something like oxtail with rice and peas, right? So that's now my lunch. And I normally have a salad as well. A few little pieces of lettuce, a couple pieces of cucumber if I get around to that. And maybe a slice of tomato. And I eat everything first and then I eat the salad last. If I manage to eat the salad, that is it. But the plate looks nice for the salad, so the salad gets on the plate. And then I'm gonna have and then I'm gonna have supper as well, right? I'm gonna have supper. And this is my supper. I'm having a nice plate of jerk chicken salad. And I'm eating like 2 leg quarters of jerk chicken. And I'm having some salad there on the side, right? And after that, then I'm having a dessert. Because I've worked very hard. So I've got to treat myself. So I'm treating myself to a dessert. I'm having something like a nice banana crepe or a crepe Suzette. And of course, throughout my day, as operations manager, and we had some top class high-end restaurants. Yeah, proper food, yeah. We had a top class high-end restaurant, and I had to buy, I'm the one who deals with new suppliers. So they have something new, or I want to try out a new wine or a new champagne. I'm the person who is doing the tasting for all of this, right? All these new products. So throughout the day, I'm tasting. At times, I'm tasting different champagnes. We may be having, I can't remember some events that we normally have where it's just pure wine and champagne that you get to sample and test. Maybe having something like a wine story or something like that. I'm the person testing all of these and saying, no, we don't want this one. No, we don't want that one. Yes, we want this one. Yes, we want that one. And negotiating prices, etc., etc., etc. So I'm tasting all of that. Cocktails. We have cocktail bars as well. So, of course, I go to a cocktail bar and I want to check if the standards are being maintained. So I'll order a cocktail. Of course, I get to drink that to see, the standards are being maintained. Same barman from how long? So, but I do get to ensure that the standards are being maintained. And I was so enjoying my job. I was so enjoying my job. And I find I kept going up and up and up and up and up. I remember when it got to the point where, so I used to wear a uniform, right? And we were black jackets and they had the company's logo embroidered on them. And I remember when it got to the point where every month or a couple of months or so, my jacket need to be changed because I'm another, I've got up another size. Now, it got to the point where my employer said to me, okay, this is what you do, because by the time the jackets came back from the designer and they put the logo on it, mine would start, the inseam here, it would start tearing out. By the time I get mine, it wouldn't last very long before it starts ripping open on the inside. So this is what the employer said to me, okay, what you do, go to Marks and Spencer's and buy a black jacket whenever you need a new jacket. And here, we're giving you a name badge with the logo on it. So everybody's jackets are embroidered. Mine, I get a name badge because I was changing them too often. So I get a name badge with the company logo on it because they couldn't keep up to maintain me because I was just getting too fat. I just kept going up and up and up and up and up. And I saw myself going up. And I keep telling myself, you need to stop. You need to change. You need to stop. You need to change. But when you're weak to taste buds, you're weak to appetite, it's not so easy to stop. And when your body just starts putting on the weight, when you're eating rubbish like that, one, it affects your thyroid, right? And when the thyroid gets affected, then you don't even need to try to gain the weight. You gain it effortlessly once the thyroid starts messing about, right? So that was one of my problems, right? I started developing thyroid issues, and not like I had stopped eating anyway. I had it in my head. I had good desires to stop eating like that and to change how I ate, but I didn't do it, right? So I kept going up, started changing trousers until it got to the point where I am now struggling. I cannot go now to the normal store and buy my clothes. I now needed to go to plus size store. And that's when it really hit home because I did not want to go to the plus size store to purchase my clothes. But I get to the point where the normal size, even though it may be a big size, it's just too, it doesn't fit right. It just doesn't fit properly. You need to now go to a plus size store to get your make, to get your correct fit, so you can look decent in your clothes. Otherwise, you squeeze into the small size clothes and you have bits of you hanging out, pulping out, printed out everywhere. You start looking like they've squeezed you, like they're trying to squeeze Santa through a square chimney, So that's how I started looking. So I eventually had to come to terms with myself where I literally had to go to a plus size store to get clothes that could actually fit me so I could look like a woman, and not like them little gal, because when you get to a certain age and you have children, you've gotta maintain some sort of dignity and dress properly, dress appropriately. So I had to go to the plus size store to get clothes that fits and cover my body decently. All right, so it dawned on me, I have to change. And I keep telling myself, you have to change. You're not going to go up another size, right? So I'm telling myself, I'm not going up another size. And I still didn't do anything, right? So anywhere that you see me, if you want them shortbread cookies, shortbread biscuits, I always have a supply in my bag. So if you feel sick and you want something sweet, just call Davina. You're at work and you're in the office and you feel a little bit hungry and you just want a biscuit, you could look in my bag, right? Or in my pocket. I always have a stash, right? That are always nibbling on in the office. Anybody going out to the shops on the road, I would give them money. Just get me some more of them shortbread cookies. So that was one of the first things that I actually cut off, the shortbread cookies. I had to put it aside. But let me tell you what was my wake-up call. I had a few wake-up calls, but one that really shook me up is one of my colleagues, a friend of mine, who we ate the very same way. We were both very round and plump. Right? I got a phone call one morning that he's in the hospital. That the night before, he was hallucinating. He was trying to climb through the window from the second floor. He was just doing a lot of crazy stuff at home. And they had to take him to the emergency room, and they diagnosed him with type 2 diabetes. Yeah, I started shaking like a leaf. All right? Because nobody needed to tell me. I knew I was next. But between you and I already had the diabetes, but I didn't know, right? Because mine didn't get out of control like his, right? But I already had it, but I didn't know that I had it then. It was later on that I discovered that I had it, but by then I already started my journey to health, which was a good thing. Because maybe if I had known then, I would have panicked so much that I would have probably ended up in the hospital like him, right? So that was a real wake-up call for me, because I knew in my head I was next. If I don't change, I'm going to get diabetes, or I'm going to get cancer or something. And by the way, I also had a tumor in my gut, which I didn't know I had. But sometimes it's good not to know. Because sometimes when you know, you find certain things out. For example, you've ever heard someone will be living fine, and until they get a diagnosis of cancer, then suddenly in a month or so, they just die. The stress and the fright of it takes them out more than the sickness itself. So, yeah, I had a tumor that I didn't even know it was a tumor, right? I thought it was. So this is how it happened. When I decided, yes, I have to change, I now start searching, how can I get started with this? And I remember having some, discussions with some friends, and one of them talked about a hydrotherapy colon cleanse. She did the colon cleanse, and mind you, she was saying she did it at some place in Jamaica, and she said it was very good, but she would never ever do it again. Talked about all sort of crazy stuff. So one person said, okay, I heard that if you drink your wee, you can lose weight. Hey, so I went back home with an ammunition. I went back home with about 4 remedies that I was ready to try to lose this weight, right? And one of them cheapest one was to drink my wee. So I remember I told my ex-husband, right, who is a biomedical scientist. And when I told him, he had a good laugh. And he said, okay, whenever you're ready to drink some wee, just let me know. I will send you over some. And okay, it dawned on me, all right, that one may not be such a brilliant idea, all right, because he's a scientist. Yes, Lord have mercy indeed. These are some of the natural remedies people have out there. So, just to let you know, you've got work ahead of you, all right? The things that people have out there, the things that people are taught out there that they can use is unbelievable. So he had a good laugh at me, and I decided, all right, I'm not going to do the wee thing anymore, but I have to do something, right? So I had a cupboard that I had to dedicate in my kitchen, right, to weight loss supplements. If you wanted to sell your old shoes, you probably could just cut the bottom off and say to me, if you take this, you will lose weight, and I would buy it from you. You wanted to sell your old belt, your leather belt, anything at all you wanted to sell. Just tell me that it would help me to lose weight, and I would buy it from you. So I had a whole cupboard in my kitchen that just had weight loss stuff. I remember having some Chinese tea boy. When I take them teas, I had to hold on to my bed head. I was lying in the bed and I was holding on to the bed head, and the bed was spinning. It was just spinning with me. Yet I was holding on, and I could feel myself just going around and around in circles. I used to have such bad headaches from taking those pills, those Chinese teas. But I was taking them religiously every day to lose the weight. and I wasn't losing any weight. So I took acacia berry, everything, anything sell on the internet. They just find me and they just target me and advertise it to me, and I just buy it and I would take it. I even did laser lipo, and I lost a couple of inches, and I don't know when it went back on, right? So I was desperate to lose the weight, and I'd gotten so depressed as well in my life that I literally even stopped looking in the mirror. And then I got to the stage where I decided, okay, let's try this hydrotherapy colon cleanse, right? Because then I don't know if I was reading something or listening to something, but I just knew that all diseases start in the gut. And I just thought, let's cleanse your gut. Let's cleanse your gut. So do this hydrotherapy colon cleanse. And I was doing my usual thing, searching Google, my doctor Google. And Google sent me east, west, north, and south, all over the place. And that is why it is important to have a consultant. So I was searching Dr. Google for hydrotherapy colon cleanse, how I can do this. And I so happened to find something, I think, on Voucher or Groupon. One of them thing was selling a voucher, really highly discounted, which was like 80 something pounds, by the way, for some hydrotherapy colon clinic in Harley Street. By the way, I must say that I did try to find that place that my friend went to in Jamaica, and I actually called them, got their address, and I was ready to book my ticket to come to Jamaica to do the hydrotherapy colon cleanse. That's how badly I wanted it. And then I found this one at Harley Street. Because I tell you, once you start searching, right? And I search on the internet for this place in Jamaica, hydrotherapy colon cleanse place. Of course, the other they just pick you up and they start advertising to you. So whatever you're on your email, you see these little advertisement things pop up in the corner. So that's how I found this thing on Voucher and our Groupon, whichever one it was. And I called them, I bought it, I called them, and I booked a consultation session. And I remember at that time, so that's when I always say that's when I officially started my change, right? My journey to health. Even though it was before that, but I used that date because that's when I had to weigh. So that's when I actually knew my weight. And this is how they put me on 4.75 liters of water per day to drink. And this is how they calculated it. For every 50 pounds you weigh, you drink a liter of water. So I was supposed to drink 4.75 liters of water, which meant that when they weighed me, I was weighing 220 pounds. So that was my weight. And because I remember that weight and I remember that, I say, okay, that's when my experience started.
How many kilos are those days,
Kilos, divide that by 2.2. That's like 110 kilo or something like that. That's a lot of kilo. Right. So that's what I used to weigh, and that's the amount of water that they put me on to drink per day. Because when I went to this clinic, right, and they did my assessment, I was drinking something like worked out to be, I think, a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of water per day. So I just want to say to you, I'm not the only person in the world like that. I know people now will tell you they don't drink water. And I'm sure you probably know people as well. There are so many sick people out there. You've got to find different ways of reaching them. Some of them, you can't tell them about natural remedies. They don't want to hear that. They think drugs is the answer. Because I was one of those. I had some stuff on my skin that looked like, I call them black blotches. So they look a little bit ash grayish, black. They look a bit ashy. They were all over my skin, and I used to cover them in makeup. Or so I thought, actually, until one day I went for a photo shoot with a friend. And when the pictures came out, and I saw that the makeup really didn't cover them, those blotches were still popping out from under the makeup. I was in such a shock, right? Because, because I put on concealer, I put on foundation, I put on this, I don't even remember the whole line of makeup I used to cover them with. And I used to do my chest, and I used to do these places, because these places as well, you could see the blotches. So I used to cover them as well in the makeup. But when I did the photo shoot, I could see all the blotches underneath the makeup. I was so humiliated. I was so embarrassed. I couldn't even print any of the pictures, right? And this was another shaking up for me, because I thought, no, I have to change. Something has to change. What are these things on my body? So I went to the doctors, and they said to me, the only thing they can give me for this is steroids. So I went to the pharmacies, and I tried to get something over the counter, and every pharmacy I go, they send me back to the GP, right? Because they're saying it seemed like the only thing I could get for that is steroids, and the doctors have to prescribe the steroids. They can't give it to me over the counter. I sent to Jamaica to get ointments, because you know in Jamaica you can buy certain things over the counter at the pharmacy. So I sent to get ointments for, what you call it? Not liver spot. What the other thing? Ringworm. I thought they were ringworm. I thought there was this, there were that. I diagnosed them to be 101 different things. And I I used everything. I used everything, but those blotches would not leave my body. And I got so depressed, and it affected my self-esteem so much. So to the point where I started wearing a lot of turtleneck. Even in the summer, I was dressed in turtleneck. It's a good thing I'm Jamaican, so I'm used to heat, you know. I was just wearing a lot of turtleneck, because after that photo shoot, and I saw how ugly those things were. And not only that, but when I saw myself on the picture, I filled the screen. And then I took some pictures with my friends' children, and you know, I call them my nephews and stuff. They were sitting around me. They looked like grasshoppers, you know. They look so tiny. I look like Godzilla. Exactly. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, oh my God, this look like Godzilla. That's what I was saying, you know. And I'm like, no, I've got to change. I felt so big and so high up in the air, you know. And I was like, I have to change. I have to change. I have to lose this weight. And then that was one other thing as well. My belts, I had to go out and buy new belts, because my belts couldn't button, and I had to buy men's belt, right? That's how big my waist had gotten. And I was thinking, this waistline is diabetes, you know? And then I'm thinking to myself, if I don't change, I'm going to get diabetes. But I already had it, right? But of course, I wasn't checking blood sugar, and I'm so glad at that time. But I'm so glad that I changed, because I wouldn't have been around. If I didn't change, I wouldn't be around to share this testimony today, right? So I knew I needed to do stuff, and I start with that colon cleanse. Now I remember when I did the colon cleanse. So for example, I don't remember how long the session is supposed to be, but let's say for example it's supposed to be like half an hour, or it was supposed to be like 20 minutes. I went over. She did me like an additional, I don't know if it's an additional 10 minutes or 15 minutes. She had to keep washing out my colon, because she saw something. So there was a tumor in my colon, but she didn't realize it was a tumor, right? She thought it was old poo stuck in my colon and wouldn't move. So she was pressing on it, and she was saying to me, put your hand here, can you feel it? And yes, I could feel it. And she was saying, somehow it just won't move, it won't budge. So she was washing with this hose. She couldn't move it. So, you know, she put me on a program. That's how I got that 4.75 liters of water to drink per day. She changed my diet. You know, she said to me, okay, chicken once a week and fish 2 times a week. And I must eat beans. I must eat beans, you know, for the rest of the week. I needed to change how I eat to get this poo that she thought it was to move, right? Listen, it took years for that poo to move because that poo was not poo. That was a tumor, right? That was a tumor. And I didn't know until I think about 2017, right? And we're talking about from 2013 here, right? And it took me that time to find out. But by then, I didn't do anything more than just take herbs and natural remedies that I was put on. And I don't know when it left. Because, you know, sometimes not having any knowledge is also good. When you don't really understand the dangers of a tumor, you're not stressed about it, you're not worried about it because you don't understand. Sometimes when you understand, you panic, right? So yeah, I knew I had something. I didn't understand that is cancerous and that could kill you. I didn't make that connection, which was good, you know. So my lack of knowledge sort of saved me there because I am known to be someone who can panic, you know. So that was a good thing, and I just took the treatment that they put me in, and I just followed it religiously. So I went to a natural remedies clinic in Essex, it was, and they put me on a program, and I just followed the program, you know. I just prayed and I followed the program and I just did what they said I should do to the end, and I felt really good. So I carried on, even though I must say that after I felt so good and the program was finished, and they did tell me, don't touch anything with wheat. I did go back and eat something with wheat, and then I realized the effects it had on my body, and that was my last time ever touching wheat. So yeah. But yeah, they didn't know what it was, that it was actually a tumor there, and only to find out later on that polyps runs in my family and colon cancer runs in my family. That I even have an aunt that the doctor told her that she needs to warn her entire family because they've never seen so much polyps and cancer tumor in one person's gut, right? So they've told her to warn her family. But yeah, now I know, thank the Lord. But he was merciful to me that I was able to reverse my conditions before I had the knowledge and the understanding that I have now. And I was literally just obedient and followed the program that I was put on and did everything to the T. And as soon as I gained some knowledge, I just employed it into my life, and the Lord granted me favor. So going to that clinic, cleansing the colon, going on the program that they put me on, the amount of water that I was supposed to drink. By the way, when she said to me, you need to drink 4.75 liters of water per day, when she saw the look on my face, she said, okay, do 4.5. I managed 4 liters. I managed 4 liters per day. And I must tell you, that was the most dramatic period of my life, boy. Because from somebody who used to have 2 tablespoons of water per day to 4 liters of water per day, ha 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 ha. Don't think that I did not have some proper waterworks all over the place, right? I remember. So a part of the program was when they did the assessment with me, they told me to drink a certain amount of water before I came to the clinic, but I was supposed to drink this water over a period of time. Of course, I had a busy life, as I mentioned before. So I did not drink the water until the day when I was going to the clinic. I tried to drink the amount of water that I was supposed to have in a few days. I tried to drink that amount in one day without thinking that I would need a mobile toilet. Now, I remember getting to Harley Street, and on the paper that they had given me, right, it said that, like, I'm going to number 1 Harley Street. The paper said that number 1 is not where you're expecting it. It is not on the road where you're expecting it. It's, you should go, I think, turn right or something like that. It's on the other road or somewhere different. All right. I read that before. But when my friend dropped me off now, where number 1 is supposed to be, right? Where I'm expecting number 1 to be, where that is where they say it is not there. My friend dropped me off there. I wanted to wee so bad. So my friend had to actually drop me there because I couldn't go to the car park to park, right? I needed to find a toilet immediately because I really needed to wee. I go where number 1 is supposed to be, and there's no door there. And I start knocking. While I'm knocking on, I run downstairs. I see some basement with doors. I run and I'm knocking on doors. And I run on the next street and I'm knocking. And I run on every street and I'm at the 4 roads. And I'm running everywhere and I'm knocking. Please, 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 I need to use the toilet. I need to use the toilet. It's a Sunday. No one is answering any doors, right? Because some of these places, they're all business places that, nobody's answering anything. I look up the road. I'm looking for a shopping center. I cannot see anything like a shopping center in sight. I cannot hold this wee anymore. I'm at the 4 roads. There was some vehicle parked on the side of the road. I had to just wee on the side of the road. Now, listen to the better part of it. It's a bright sunny day in London and the place is dry. And that wee is just running down the road. And I'm saying, God, please let it stop, let it stop, let it stop, let it stop. And I am there weeing, and I can hear laughing at the stoplight. Everybody is just laughing, cackling. I don't know if people took their cameras out. I don't know. All I know is everybody laughing. And I am weeing, and the wee won't stop. And then the wee running down the street on a dry road. Oh. And the wee just won't stop. And then when I was finished, I got up and I looked up. There is number 1. It's like, yeah. I couldn't think, right? And I've had so many of those experiences when I just started my journey, right? And for some people, they would give up. But I decided I'm not going to give up, right? And I'm saying this because I know a lot of people, and even some of you probably on here today, you're not going to drink your water when you're going out because you're going to say, oh, because it will, I probably want to use the toilet. Listen to me. I started working out a rota system, right? I had to start studying my body. I'm like, okay, if I wake up in the morning and I get this amount of water in, then I have to do like 2 wees before I leave and 1 just before I leave. And by the time I travel for, let's say, 2 hours or so, I know I need to get to another toilet again. So I had to work out my water drinking like that. But I had to drink my water. I was drinking my water because the lady told me if I drink the water, those things will come off my skin and I won't even know when they come off my skin. I drank my water and exactly as she said is exactly what happened. I don't know when they came off my skin and nothing worked that I put on my skin, by the way. Nothing worked. It's that water that removed those things from my skin. That water changed my life. Just drinking water, I had so much more energy. I started exercising. Even though I had so much pain, because again, I used to suffer from angina, right? Because obviously you're not overweight, you're gonna have all sort of disease. There's no way you cannot have a heart disease when you put so much weight and strain on the heart. I used to wake up in the mornings and I had pain everywhere in my body. Recently, since I moved to Jamaica, right? And when you're moving. And you need to throw some stuff out. You're going through books. So I went through one diary that I found. And I was seeing in this diary where I was writing a prayer to the Lord. And I was telling God that I have pain everywhere. I am in pain. My hip hurt. My knees hurt. My bones hurt. The pain is down to my bone. That's what I was telling them. I was telling God that I was having pain everywhere in my body. What can He do for me? I'm going to say I have no pains now, all right? So He did answer the prayer, right? So I had pain all over my body. And then when I did, when I went to that clinic, I found out that I had rheumatoid arthritis as well. So, of course, that's why pain was everywhere. The other thing I used to suffer from badly, I used to suffer from muscle contract. Boy, I'm sleeping in the night and in my sleep, muscle contract hold me. I have to jump up out of the bed and stand up. That was the only way I could get that muscle contract out. It used to be so bad. And that's mineral deficiencies. But I used to eat so much food, yet I was lacking in mineral and nutrients because I used to eat a lot of rubbish food, a lot of white rice. I remember one day I went to Loy's house and she was cooking brown rice, and I was just literally fuming because I thought that thing took so long to cook. Oh, why isn't she have to cook brown rice? White rice tastes better anyway, you know, and she was cooking this brown rice and we didn't have time, you know. But now I eat only brown rice or red rice or wild rice, all right? But when you're lacking in knowledge, you pay. You pay. And there is a world out there that is completely lacking in knowledge, and they are paying. They don't know why they're having angina. They don't know why they're having diabetes. They don't know why they're having heart disease. I remember talking to one of my friends about changing his diet because he's had 7 heart attacks before in his life. And he was still eating a lot of cream and a lot of cheese. And I was talking to him and he was like, oh, no, it's hereditary. It runs in my family. Right? Heart attack runs in my family. Diabetes runs in my family. No. As most of you on here probably know, genetics loads the gun, yes, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. My lifestyle was pulling all sort of trigger in my life. I'm surprised I'm even here today. But I give God thanks because he kept me. His mercies kept me. So my testimony is so long. I don't want to go through all of it today. You will buy my book one day. I'm hoping to finish it. I'm putting a deadline on it. It's got to finish this year. Right? But I had to change how I ate, right? And it started with that colon cleanse because they told me, they were the first ones that said to me, eat meat and cut out red meat altogether. And I cut out red meat altogether. I was very obedient, right? I was very obedient. So they told me cut out red meat, and I cut out red meat. And these people, they're not Adventists or anything like that, right? They're just people who like health, all right? So I cut out all the red meat when they said to me cut that out, and they said to me have chicken once a week and fish maybe twice a week and have beans the rest of the times. And I did exactly what they said, and I started. So I started putting more salads in my diet, and now I started eating the salads, by the way. And I started doing a lot of juicing, and I remember, right, this is it, when I do the juicing and I make the fruit smoothies and I drink them, I would have to hold on, boy. The whole place was spinning with me. I just wanted to faint because I was hypoglycemic. But I didn't know. But I used to down them smoothies. I didn't know that I was diabetic then, and the too much sugar spiking the blood sugar. I could almost kill myself and I didn't know. But anyway, God was merciful. He spared me, and I eventually changed how I ate. So I cut out the meat, and then I cut out meat altogether. And then I remember when I got to the stage when I really wanted to cut fish out, and I said to, my housemate that I was living with at the time, I said to her, look, no more, I don't want to eat any more fish. I'm just going all vegan, right? And I'm somebody who used to eat like 6 eggs in one go, right? And I'm going now all vegan. And she said, yes, me too. I'm going all vegan because I used to be vegetarian. So yeah, we both agreed. But I come home, fish, she cooks. And then I remember one day, I keep saying to her, no more fish, no more fish, no more fish. And I remember one day, as I came out of the lifts, I smell salt fish. I smell ackee and saltfish. And boy, I hold my head. Jamaica's national dish. And I'm like, I'm not going to eat that today. I'm not going to eat it. And I went in. And I said to her, and I went in and I started preparing some beans for myself. And she said, eat the ackee and saltfish, man, the last time it never kill you. And I said, no. I had to put my foot down. And I had to say, no, I am not going to eat any more ackee and saltfish. I'm not going to eat any more fish. This is it. And I remember that day it was a victory for me. I felt delivered, boy. I never ever looked back at flesh again after that last time. I had to say no, and I had to resist it. And I was so hungry that day, but I had to come in and I had to cook my own food, right? But that helped me so much. And I can tell you this as well. Being a chef, You have to learn to discipline yourself, right? And I remember being even at New Bold in that kitchen, and there's this book that I'm gonna recommend to everyone to get. Once you're a medical missionary, and everybody, I recommend this book even to my clients, right? It's called Mind, Character, and Personality. So I had gotten to a good stage in my life now, right? Where I was eating, as far as I was concerned, I was now eating 2 meals per day, but I wasn't, right? And I was this kind of personality where I'm this, as far as I'm concerned, I'm a no-nonsense person, right? And I remember, it was, I think, 2018. I had 2 medical missionaries that came over by my house, and they were there for maybe about 2 weeks or so. And one of them said to me, "You need to read the book Mind, Character, and Personality, and then you will see yourself in it." And of course, I blast them, because as far as I'm concerned, yeah, it's a good book. As far as I'm concerned, they're the one with the problem, not me. And this is me. I am just a no-nonsense person, right? And I just don't put up with foolishness. I just don't have the patience or the time for this or that, right? Anyway, the person keeps saying, "Read that book, Mind, Character, and Personality." And I remember the Lord kept saying to me, "Read that book. Read that book. Read that book." So, okay, I was at work. I put my mobile phone in my pocket, which is a bad practice, by the way. Don't do that. And I had the thing in my ears, so I could, and I listened to this book. It's on YouTube. So I was listening to the book. I was listening to the book, and that book changed my life. So I thought I was there in terms of health and understanding, but that book showed me how far away I was and how much bad practices I had. And those character traits that I had that I thought was, I was like a no-nonsense person, that just showed me that there is no such thing as a no-nonsense person. It's a bad health principles, bad eating habits. You're eating more than 2 meals. You're picking on food all day long because you're a chef, you're in the kitchen. So this is it. I would eat my breakfast before I go to work. And by the time I get to work and start working, I would pass the fruit basket and I'd probably pick a ripe banana and I'd probably eat that. And I'd probably take an apple to my workstation. I'd wash it and I'd have it on my workstation. And eventually I would eat that apple as well. And I'm cooking and I'm tasting all day long until it's lunchtime. So I count my breakfast. I don't count the apple. I didn't count the banana. And if I take a handful of nuts in between, I don't count that either. I didn't count the food that I was tasting. I didn't count that as a meal. But when I sit now to have my next meal, that's what I would count as a meal. But reading Mind, Character, and Personality, I realized that every single thing that I was eating, that I was putting in my mouth, even tasting, was a meal. So I was definitely not having 2 meals for the day. And these things, believe it or not, this way of eating affects your personality. It affects your mind. It affects your character. I was just seeing myself, all my attitudes, everything. I was just seeing being revealed in this book. I was in complete shock, right? And this is me. I discovered that about myself in the book. And I said, "God, you have to help me. You now have to help me to change." So I went into fasting and prayer. And I presented these character traits before the Lord, because all my life I thought that's how I was. And that was just normal. That was just me. That was just my character. In Christ's book, that's a bad character. He doesn't want that, right? So now I had to write these things out about myself, and I had to present them to the Lord, right? And believe you me, when at that stage, I had changed a lot, right? Just recently, I was talking to my friend Loy, who used to work with me when I used to work in the world before I became an Adventist. And I thought when I became an Adventist, my character changed totally. And it did change a lot, right? But the Lord was not finished the work that he had started in me. There was still more work to be done. And mind you, there is still more work. He's still working on me every day, right? But I now had to create a list, and I had to fast and pray over it. And I had to say, God, you've got to help me to change. Help me to get rid of these habits, these traits. Help me to overcome these taste buds. So now I had to learn to cook. I'm working in a kitchen. I am a head chef. I'm a menu coordinator. I am creating dishes as well. And I can't taste them. I can't taste them, right, while I'm cooking. And I had to pray and said, Lord, you have to teach me to develop these flavors without tasting, right? I had to be so disciplined that I would go to work and I would see the food and I wouldn't taste when I'm cooking, and I wouldn't pick up an apple. I wouldn't pick up a handful of nuts. I wouldn't pick up a banana. I wouldn't do any of this. So when I eat my breakfast, I eat all that I want to eat at my breakfast time. And then I go to work and I cook and I'm around all the food, right? I'm baking bread. I am cooking this. I am making salads and no tasting until it's time for my meal. I sit down and I eat my meal. And only the Lord can help you to have that discipline, especially when you work around food. It's not an easy one. That was a hard one, but he gave me the willpower, he gave me victory, and I overcame, right? So that was that was a test. That was a test of character. That was a test of appetite. Because we cannot let our taste buds control us. And when you're working in the kitchen, it is very easy to let your taste buds control you. And I'm telling you this because you're doing this cooking course. And some of you, after this course, you may go on to do manufacturing. You may go on to open your own restaurant. You may go on, you may use this skill to minister for the Lord. And you may find that you put your own self in jeopardy if you don't discipline yourself, right? You may find that you're tasting all day long. This will affect our characters. And if you read the book, Mind, Character, and Personality, I can tell you, you will see so much of yourself in that book. And the Lord will instruct you on what to do, how to change. So it's been a journey. I've had a point in my life where, as a vegan, my B12 levels got too low. And what I did, I just went back on eggs. I added back eggs to my diet for, I don't know, maybe about 6 months. And then I came back off it. Then I did a course with Andrews University in health and wellness. And when I did that course, then I understood more now about nutrition and how I could help myself. And then I came back off the eggs after the course, and I was able to support my own health with the knowledge that I gained from the course without supplementing or anything, but just how to eat now to not have my B12 levels go below what they are supposed to be. What else did I experience? As you learn, because I'm the person like this. As soon as I learn something, I like to employ it in my life. So I used to suffer badly from high blood pressure, right? I fainted even at work as a result of the high blood pressure. When I did the course in health and wellness, when we did the module on blood pressure, I remember, and Dr. Craig was my teacher, and he's going to be teaching the module on soy and legumes and corn and stuff like that. He'll be teaching. When he taught the module on high blood pressure, wow, I realized, I said to myself, okay, you know what? I'm going to come home. I'm going to go home. I'm going to try everything that this teacher just taught in the class. So I had to reverse my blood pressure naturally. And I did. In my head, I did exactly what he said. But I did make a mistake. Because what I did, I left class and I went straight to the supermarket. And I remember spending something like about 80-something pounds. Right? And I forgot one thing that the teacher said. He did say no processed food. And the first thing I bought for my dinner that evening, I bought the pasta sauce that's already made from the shelf. Right? So I'd completely forgotten that in the class. And I bought other processed food. And then I came home and I was ready to prepare my dinner. And then one mind said, just go back and read over the notes from the class. And I went back and read over them. And one of the first thing I saw was no processed foods. Because they have a lot of salt and they have a lot of sugar. And when you have high blood pressure, you need to reduce your salt and you need to reduce or remove sugar. So, of course, I read my pasta sauce and the amount of salt that a black person should consume for the day, for the whole day. I had that amount in the sauce only. Right? And of course, I wasn't going to have just the pasta sauce. And of course, I had breakfast already, and there was salt, food with salt in my breakfast. So I said, okay, all right, let me just finish this meal. Let me get over this one. I have to go back to the supermarkets tomorrow. So yeah, I paid to learn. I went back to the supermarket the next day, now equipped, after reading over my notes. Now I'm going intentional, and I pick everything up and I read the back. Even the bagged spinach, I read the back of the bagged spinach. And I decided, right, so if you have high blood pressure, or if you're Hispanic, or if you're black, you need to have no more than 1 gram of salt per day, right? A Caucasian can have 2.3 grams. I think 1 point something gram. I don't remember fully right now, but when I do a presentation on blood pressure, and it's 1 point something grams you can have. But I was determined in myself that I was going to have less than that. I was going to have no more than 1 gram for the day. So as a result, when I read the spinach that was in the bag, right, I put it back on the supermarket shelf. I didn't buy it. So next time when you go to your supermarket, look on the back of it, right? I bought my kale, I bought my seeds, I bought my nuts, and I bought everything raw, and I bought lots of green leafy vegetables, and I bought my avocado, I bought my dried apricots, and I came home, and in a week and a half, my blood pressure for the first time in my life was normal. So a week, I did a program. I put myself on a program for 2 weeks, just what the teacher taught in the class. And in a week and a half, they checked my blood pressure. Because I had fainted at work, the nurse was monitoring my blood pressure. So every day, I used to have to go to her office, and she used to check my blood pressure and check my blood sugar. Yeah, and that's when I know my blood sugar every day was always through the roof. Right? So that's when I knew as well, right? And of course, my waistline was still big. And mind you, by then I'd come down from a size 22, 24 to about a size 16, right? So I was about a size 16 then, when I was still having those problems. But in a week and a half, when they checked my blood pressure was 120 over 70 something, and I started jumping around and dancing on New Ball College campus, and I was just praising the Lord. I was jumping like a baby kangaroo. I was just so happy. I was just so happy. I felt so good. And then, previously, because I had the angina, I couldn't exercise as much as I wanted to exercise because of the pain in my chest. In fact, I remember when I was going to work, I managed one restaurant that was in Westfield, Stratford City. And if anybody know Westfield, Stratford City, there's like 1,000,000,001 staircases, right, going up. And that escalator used to break down more than it used to work. And I used to dread going up those stairs. And I used to have to go 1 step, rest. 1 step, rest. 1 step, rest. I couldn't go step, 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 step. No. If I do that, you would have to pick me up at the top. I wouldn't get to the top of the stairs. You'd have to pick me up halfway through, find me, throw water on me. I would just collapse, right? So I had the angina, so I couldn't manage the exercise that much. And then not only that, but I did exercise actually for a whole year, and I didn't lose any weight. I lost 5 pounds that year, and I gained it back at Christmas. And I got really depressed, and I was crying uncontrollably that my friend had to call my mom in the States to talk to me for me to stop the crying, because I exercised one whole year, I lost 5 pounds, and I gained it back over Christmas, of course. Who won't get depressed from that? That's after I've done liposuction, I've done this, I've done that. I mean, right? So when I got depressed, I stopped exercising. I'd lost the willpower to exercise. And I want to tell you about intermittent fasting. So I didn't know anything about intermittent fasting, but this is what had happened now. When I got that depressed, I started praying. So before, I never used to believe in God, and that's another story all by itself. but I started praying. And I remember when I just came to the church, New Year's Day 2015 or 2014, the ending of 2014 to the beginning of 2015, that New Year's Day, I caught me in a church, and that was when I really started praying, and I asked the Lord to change my life, change my life, change my life, change my life, and just save me, basically. And I went to an Adventist church the third Sabbath in January. I walked into an Adventist church, and I remember now, I created a list. April 11th, they announced that they were going to have some prayer and fasting for the week if anybody wanted to join them. And I put my hand up, I joined them. And I remember I had a list with, I think, 7 or 8 points that I was fasting and praying over. And that was my first time. April 11th, I think, was my first time fasting and praying. It was a Sabbath. So it was 2015, April 11th. You can look at your calendar. It should have been a Sabbath. That was my first day of fasting. And then after that, I fasted from, I think, the Monday for a whole week. And one of the things that was on my list that I was fasting and praying for, the Lord fulfilled the sign. The Lord answered my prayer. So I was so excited. By the end of the fast, the Sabbath, I remember we all met at one of the other girls' house to break the fast. I was over the moon because the Lord answered one of my prayers. So I love this fasting thing, right? So I'm like, wow, if I fast for 1 week and God answer one thing, I need to keep fasting, right? And I'm just getting to know the Lord. So I'm like over the moon. I'm so excited. I mean, the Bible, still is the sweetest book I've ever read, right? So now I start fasting more. So like I would fast this week, and maybe I'd fast for 3 days, and then I would take a break for another week or so, and then I'd fast maybe for a day, and then I'd take another break, and maybe I'd fast for a week. That's how I was doing, because every time I fast, the Lord answers something or something changed in my life, and it felt so good. So I just wanted to fast. The fasting, which is what I was doing at the time, but I didn't know, was like intermittent fasting. That kickstart my metabolism really well as the lots of water that I was drinking, right? So that made a change. One thing I remember I was fasting for, I kept fasting for, Lord, please give me the motivation and the willpower to exercise. So I could lose the weight. I didn't go back to exercising until 2016, 2016, I think, or 2017, right? So 2016, I reversed my high blood pressure with the knowledge that I gained from the course. And then now, I remember when after I reversed my high blood pressure and I was jumping around now, feeling good, feeling all light, feeling lighter as well, because, I was losing a little weight as well, because I changed, I started eating without the salt and I started eating more vegetables, which I never used to do before, right? So I started losing a bit more weight and I started feeling good. So I thought, okay, next year I have the exercise modules coming up. And I was dreading the exercise modules. But I thought to myself, I have to do it. I have to do it because I have to lose the weight. I have to do this for me. So from the beginning of the year, right? So the class was going to be in August. That class was going to be. So what I started doing at the beginning of the year of January, I started walking. So listen, I lived 5 minutes away from work and I used to drive. Right? I used to drive to work even though I was 5 minutes away. So what I started doing firstly, I parked the car and I started walking to work, which was 8 minutes walk. Right? So that to show you that I didn't live far. So I started walking to work and I started walking more. And so firstly I had to start walking slowly. Then I started speeding up my walking. But I started trying to get myself ready. I wanted to get myself fit for the exercise class because I was dreading it, right? Anyway, exercise class came around and yes, I dreaded it and it was to be dreaded, right? But that class changed my life. I was the weakest one in the class, but the teacher was so supportive. The teacher and the students in the class, they were so supportive. They were like, you can do it, Davina, you can do it, you can do it. And I remember when I had to go up some stairs and We had to make how many trips up and down the stairs. I felt my whole body shaking. I felt like I couldn't do it. And they were like, you can do it, Davina, you can do it, keep on it, keep. And I carried on. And listen, in 3 weeks, I lost 4.5 kilos from the exercise class. And my energy levels went through the roof. The teacher could not control me now, right? I started running exercise classes on campus, right? I was now the exercise guru on campus. So after the class finished and the teachers went back to America and stuff like that, I started a whole exercise program on campus. I had a lot of young people coming with me twice per day for exercise, and I was doing very well, right? Felt good. I lost a lot of the weight. Then now I went and I did a health check. So I was feeling good. I felt almost perfect, right, at this stage in my life. And I remember meeting Brother Benjamin at it may have been Stratford Church. I went there they asked me to present an exercise, and he did the sermon. And I remember he was talking about his clinic, and I saw some ladies from his clinic that were there doing health checks, free health checks and so forth. And I went and I wanted to do a health check with them, but the queue was too long. So I had to leave because I would live miles and miles away. But I remember going back to him. I took his number and I asked him if I could volunteer with his company because I wanted to learn and understand more about this medical missionary work because I wanted to be a medical missionary, right? So I wanted to do some training with him. And he said yes. And I did 1 year of voluntary work with his clinic. And then I started my own, right? After a year of voluntary work. And I remember the Lord then threw me in the deep end by dropping in my lap a stage 4 cancer patient just as I finished my course. And I had to learn things I didn't even learn in the course. I had to learn them overnight. Yeah, but yeah, that's another testimony for another time. But that's how my journey of health. When I went to Brother Benjamin and they put me on a detox program, so I did a bowel cleanse with a detox nut where I took this nut at 6 a.m. in the morning and I went to the toilet like 16 times of the day, something like that. It flushed me so much, it flushed everything out of me, and it cleansed my blood as well. And then I went on a 7-day detox program, and then after that a guide menu. I felt this is when now I came down to my perfect body weight. That just knocked everything off. So when I met Brother Benjamin, I was now maybe about a size 14, right? A size 12, 14. And when I did the program with him by, I think maybe about February, I was a size 10, 12 UK. So it just cleaned off the rest of weight off me that I needed off, right? Because sometimes when you have the weight on and you're losing it, and then you get to a stage where it stops going off, you stop shedding it, you just stuck. I felt like I'd gotten to that stage, right, where I'd lost a lot, but then I felt like I just paused. And I was just maintaining the weight where I was at. But I needed that detox program, and that just changed things and everything else. So while I felt good, I had some conditions that I knew I had. But my doctors had told me, oh, you have to live with that for the rest of your life. And I accepted that. And I thought I had to live with that for the rest of my life. So when I'm saying I feel good, but I know I have that, and that's fine. Because I have to live with it for the rest of my life. So separated apart from that, I'm feeling really good. When I went there, he said, no, you don't have to live with this for the rest of your life. This can be fixed. So everything that he was telling me, I'm like, yeah, I know that. My doctor told me that. I know that. But this is genetic as well. He was like, no, you don't have to. You can change that. You can break that cycle in your family. And I went on the program, and I must tell you this. When he told me 250 pounds, I went, okay, I have that. I was now trying to find ways around the program. And then I said to myself, Davina, stop. You send money all the time to Jamaica or to give to people. Spend it on yourself. Just look after yourself for a moment. Just spend your money on yourself. Just stop the giving away for 1 month and just spend that money on yourself and look after you, right? Otherwise, you won't be around to help she, and the old lady that you want to help. So while it was a slightly hard decision, because sometimes, even though we probably would give away 250 pounds, sometimes when you need to spend it on yourself, you find it challenging. So I got to that stage where I said, no, I'm just going to do this program. I'm going to pay for it. And I paid for it. And I did the program. And before I do the program, I went into fasting and prayer again. And I said, Lord, please help me, because I know myself. I will start it and I won't finish it. So I said, God, please help me to stick to this program. I'm asking you to bless all these herbs. Let it reverse everything in my body. Make me brand new. And I did the program. And it was hard. Those herbs were so bitter. Oh. And every time I go to take those herbs, I had to pray. And I said, God, let me just swallow this. Let it go down. Let it go down and not come back up. And I remember I went to America, and when one of my friends saw me taking the herbs, he was like, if you keep doing your face like that, you will never be healed. And I had to change my face. I had to change my face because I wanted to be healed. And I was like, God, I'm trying to smile. Please just. But God was good. Everything was reversed. So by the April, February, I went back for a follow-up check. A lot of things had been reversed, but I wasn't complete. Some things were still happening, and he put me on another set of herbs. At least this set was not so bitter. They tasted a little bit better. They were easier because they were like tablets. They were in tablets form, so I didn't have to drink the teas, and they heard the grains. And then after that, then April, I remember April 4th, I believe it was, I did another follow-up check, and I started again jumping like a baby kangaroo. I was so excited. I was over the moon because I saw so much reversals, and I felt good as well. And a lot of things had changed, and I was in a good place, health-wise. So all the things that I thought I had to live with for the rest of my life, I had to die with them. I had no more back pain because I had an accident in 2005, and I'd damaged the joint between my lumbar and my sacrum. And I did all sorts of therapy and everything and medications. And then they told me at the end, okay, so the pain that you're having now, you'll have to just live with that for the rest of your life. If it ever gets too much, you can take these medications and stuff like that. So I thought I had to live with that back pain for the rest of my life. And I was living with that from 2005 to 2017. So I did a good few years, several other things that I thought it's a lifelong disease. They were all cleared up, and I felt so good. And after my life was changed and I did my course in health and wellness, I worked in U-Boat's kitchen, and I continued to develop recipes. I just keep saying to the Lord, I need to share this knowledge that I have, I want to share this knowledge. I want to teach others, I don't want to die with all of this information. I don't want to die with all of this knowledge on cooking, So this is how the course is here today. When the lockdown came, I said, in fact, before the lockdown came, and I have to take time and talk this, before the lockdown, I just so wanted to leave my job, and I so wanted to work fully for the Lord, full time. But when the lockdown came, I had no more reasons. I was like, this is it, God, I'm not going back. Right? I was like, I'm not going back. I'm going to work for you now full time. And I started working for the Lord, and the Lord just opened up the floodgates, and he just started sending clients. And then I keep seeing the demand and the need. After I put the clients on the program, and they're off the program and they're feeling good, then they keep asking me for recipes. And I'm thinking, okay, Davina, you need to put the book out. You need to put the recipe book out. And then I thought, you know what? What I could do that will work faster than the recipe book is if I just started teaching people how to cook. That will go out faster than the recipe book. And then in that process, I can develop the recipe book. So welcome to the Natural Remedies Kitchen VeganTrition cooking course. And you are here to benefit from all the training that the Lord has given me to reverse my very own diseases with how I ate and all the mistakes that I've learned. I'm saving you today with this course, so you don't have to make the same mistake. You've got a wealth of knowledge here that I want to give it to you. I don't want to die and go with this knowledge whatsoever, and I really need to get my recipe book out as well so it can go where this video cannot go. So now I want to hear from you. What do you expect from this course? I need to hear from everyone. What are you looking for? Why are you here today?
I just want to say amen and thank you for your testimony. It's amazing.
Praise the Lord. What do you expect to achieve at the end of this course? And can my colleagues please make notes of what people want to achieve so we can tweak the course module as we go along to make sure we fulfill your expectations. So for the last course, people really wanted to learn vegan sweets. So even though that was a big part of the course, we sort of do it where we incorporated vegan sweets, teach you how to make healthy vegan sweets. So let me hear, what is it you're looking for to achieve from this course? Bajan Beauty.
Hi, I'm Bajan Beauty. For me,
Lovely.
I have always promoted vegetarianism. I have always cooked vegetarianism from the time I was 21 and living on my own.
Excellent.
I got married and continued. My husband at the time wasn't a vegetarian, and so I introduced him to vegetarianism.
Okay.
And I brought my children up on being vegetarians. However, when my husband took ill, I was advised to reduce the amount of vegetarian analogs I was giving him.
Yeah.
And to introduce a little bit of meat. And so I did fish. We never stopped eating fish really, but I introduced back into our diet chicken and meat.
Okay.
And maintained that until he died in 2007.
Wow, sorry about
and
that.
From that date on, so that's okay. From that date on, I wanted to go back to my vegetarianism, but my children by that time had sort of become embedded in meat eating. And my son, who'd old from a child, could not really. Oh, it was always, "Mummy, I can't swallow it. I can't swallow the meat," and
wow.
It actually made me sick on a couple of occasions.
Wow.
However, my daughter left, got married, and she has her own home. But my son has stayed with me, and I kept thinking, "Oh, I want to go back to my vegetarian. I want to go back." Then, about 4 years out of the blue, he said to me, "Mum, I'm going back to being a vegetarian." Thank you, Jesus, I said.
Amen.
And we've gone on. And then like 2 years ago, he goes, "I'm going to be a vegan."
Ooh.
I thought, oh no.
How old is
Oh no.
He's gone to the extreme now.
Yes, he had. And I've gone on. Actually, I do enjoy doing vegetarianism, the veganism. I don't like I'm not a milk lover anyway, so the nut milks don't really appeal to me. We've sort of found the various vegan cheeses that we like, and we adapt those. Our regular recipes have been adapted to those. And I think what I'm looking for and what I'm expecting from the course, I have a problem with blood pressure and I'm on medication, which I was very reluctant to take. And I've always said to my GP, I'm coming off of this.
Oh, wow.
And she's saying, but Mrs. Baisden, you can't come off of it. Like I said, I am coming off of it. And I've got to the stage now where they've been able to reduce my dosage, because I only have it once a day, 10 milligrams once a day, and she's reduced it now to 5. And I'm hoping that when I see her in April, that she's going to say, oh, I can bring it down to 2.
Okay, great.
And the medication caused me to have a bit of swelling in my feet, and that's
Edema.
For me. I really do want to come off of my medication, and to prove a point to her that I can, I don't have to stay on medication because of my blood pressure.
You don't have to. You are 100% right about that. So we will definitely we will make sure that we cover the module on high blood pressure. So Myrtle, I know you're taking some notes. Yeah, so we'll go through that so you can understand the ins and outs of what you need in your body to reverse that naturally, right?
And I know that I need to drink water.
Yes, exactly what I learned at the class, I have on the presentation for the high blood pressure. All right, Anna. You're in mute.
Like this. Yes, hello. I'm
Yes.
Anna. I'm from Denmark. What I expect from this course is how to make some healthy breakfast for my kids. How to make some good snacks when they come home from school.
All right. So Myrtle, some children breakfast and meals. Children pack lunches.
Yes.
All right, fantastic.
One of my daughters have very dry skin.
Okay.
And I am very tired. Most of the time. So that is what I'm searching for.
All right. We will cover stuff that will help you. All right, let's see. Carol Scobie. All right, Ellen. All right, Marlene Simpson.
Hi.
Hello. Tell us about what you're expecting.
Well, I just want to be able to have healthy meals. I'm trying to be a vegan. I'm tempted sometimes having chicken and fish, but I want to totally cut it out of my diet. And I want to be a good example to the rest of the family who love the meat and the chicken. So that I want to be able to present those lovely looking meals. When I cook, it tastes nice, but I want it to look nice as well.
Brilliant, brilliant. So taste and presentation, fantastic. Ellen.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello, Ellen.
Yes. I think at the end of this program, I want to be able to prepare good vegan meals and also help people around and maybe even sell some.
Yes, you're at the right place. All right, fantastic, Ellen. All right, Alana and then Enoch B. So Alana. Oh, you're on mute, Alana.
Yes, hi, I'm Alana in Montreal, Canada. And
wonderful.
Yes, just yesterday I was talking to a friend and I told her I became a vegan instantly overnight within a month. Not even a vegetarian. I've never done any of the above.
You did the sledgehammer approach.
Yes, and so she said to me, "Oh, so good. Someone just sent me a flyer here, and I think you can look into it." And it's just today I signed up for the program. So I really would like to learn. And I'm 47, and I've been having a lot of pain. I find in my joints and very hard to lose weight. So these are some of the reasons why I decided to take that approach. And I just want to be in better health because Christ is coming soon, and I believe it's our duty to care for his temple that he has given us, in which he lived and prepared now on earth to meet him in heaven. And
Fantastic.
this is really what I want.
All right, so weight loss and pain, arthritis.
Amen.
All right, excellent, excellent, excellent. So this will help you to also reverse the sign of aging. Enoch, loving this, what I'm seeing right here. Unmute yourself, Enoch. I think you're going to be our favorite student. Tell us, why are you here, Enoch?
Hi, my name is Enoch. I live in the Scottish Highlands, and my mom taught me a lot, but I would like to upgrade my skills to a professional, and I'd like to become a chef.
Wow, man, I love this. This is fantastic. Welcome, Enoch, and we really hope we fulfill all your expectations and you'll be able to move right on with your dream. This is a very good course for you. I believe you're going to love it. Wonderful.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, trying to unmute. Good.
Lovely.
Okay. Next.
Oh, Boosie, there was someone else just trying to talk, but I'm not sure who.
I don't know. And Alana has actually shared. Okay, I see Betty.
Carol was speaking.
Oh.
Okay, carry on.
Is someone speaking?
You can carry on, Betty.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Davina and the group, I'm just here to say thank you so much. I was in the last course and I was not able to attend all the courses, but the little and few I attended, it is really been beneficial, and I do appreciate the work you are doing. Also, I'm here that I can get more knowledge and most possibly get on with my, I would say, help others as well, help my community. There are some people in my community who cannot speak English and they need this knowledge. So I'm finding the way to put up lessons for them through your knowledge, through whatever I've learned from you, so that I can be able to help my people as well to gain the knowledge. Also, in the future, to make this not just the benefit others, but also benefit me through making it like a business. And I can see the right person in front of me here. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I heard you, Betty. I heard you.
Yeah.
All right. Who is next?
Right.
Fire tablet. Oh, fire tablet. Are you? All right. So, Christine. Okay, fire tablet. You can go ahead. You can speak. The platform is yours. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna move on.
I'm
You're
here.
here.
I'm Christine.
Okay, Christine. All right, Christine, go ahead.
Thank you for your wonderful testimony. You've got such determination, and everything you just grab and you just run with it. That's incredible. Thank you.
You're welcome. Praise God.
I'm a vegetarian, not a cook. So this is really overwhelming for me because half the equipment I haven't got. The spices. So I'm there looking. That's going to cost me a bit of money. So I've got a health problem. I'd like to be a medical missionary at some point. I'd like to learn about these vegan dishes so that I can kind of do help other people.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's a health centre. I want to do something with that still because I'm a nurse by profession. And so, yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, and preparation and just good food that I know that I can bring food to someone's house who's not well. That would make me feel happy, or to be able to serve good food and to keep my.
Fantastic. You are at the right place. So just to say as well, right? While this course here, when you learn this course and you learn how to cook and you understand some of the science behind and the nutrition behind some of the ingredients used, you can actually use this course to reverse diseases. We are planning like a medical missionary course. What did we say we're calling it again, Busi? Nutrition and health coaching. A nutrition and health coaching course that we will actually offer sometime this year. It's going to be this year, and it won't be too far as well. We just want to put everything together, and because at the end of the day, right, and for those who have done medical missionary courses, you would have learned that let food be your medicine, right? Now, food can only be your medicine if you enjoy eating it, right? And if you know how to prepare it properly. Knowing that food should be your medicine it's not enough. Knowing how to use herbs and which herbs reverse what and making combinations of herbs and concoctions, it's brilliant, it's good, it's wonderful. But you cannot keep diseases at bay with that. That is like, if you go, that's equivalent to like going to the pharmacy to get a bottle of drugs, right? That's equivalent to that, but it has its place. So herbs has its place, but you cannot live your everyday life taking herbs every day. No, you have to learn how to eat properly to keep diseases at bay and to actually reverse diseases. And for you to eat properly and to enjoy your food and look forward to your meals and to get your family not cooking 2 or 3 different pots in one household, you have to learn how to prepare vegan food to make the child in the household enjoy it, and the oldest person with diabetes and disease in the household should also be able to enjoy it and not worry about their health. You need to be able to cook one pot that is going to cover from the youngest to the oldest. The only person that should not enjoy that food is the one who is on breast milk. Because if you're on breast milk, you should stay there until you're weaned, right? But everybody should be able to eat from your pot, enjoy the food, and know that it is reversing their diseases or it is keeping disease at bay, away from them. And so this course, as I've said to medical missionaries, you may have done your medical missionary training, but your training you're not complete until you've done this course. You're not complete until you know how to cook the foods. You're going to tell your clients to eat the healthy grains. Yes, have quinoa, have this, have that, all good. But you need to know how to prepare it for it to taste good. Otherwise, people will cook a pot of quinoa and they will throw it in the rubbish. Right? They will throw it in the rubbish and they will never ever cook quinoa again. And they will tell you, you'll say, oh, so did you cook quinoa? Yes, I did. Because the truth is they did. They just didn't eat it. And nobody in their family will want it either. And their family will, especially if your family is not Adventist or they're out in the world, they'll mock your vegetarian food. They'll mock you to scorn if it doesn't taste good. And sometimes when people mock you, it can break you. It either makes you more determined or it can wear you out thin, right? So you have to learn. This course should be a part of every medical missionary package. So those who are coming on this course who run their medical missionary courses, I'm hoping that you will actually leave equipped to be able to impart this as a part of your own course that you're teaching your students, or send them here afterwards, one way or the other. But people need to learn this. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Christine. iPhone. I see iPhone. I am not sure who is iPhone, but I would like for iPhone to unmute and let us hear. Why are you here? What is it you would like to gain from this course? Okay, Junior. I see Junior May's camera. You're there. You could tell us. You're on mute. You're on mute.
The reason why I'm here is to learn more how to cook vegan meals, and I've been cooking vegetarian meals and without any skills.
Okay.
They used to taste nice, but I need to cook professionally and I need to know how to mix properly.
Yes,
In
take
a
it to the next
professional
level.
way. Because I've noticed that I'm in love with vegetables. Whenever I go to the shops, my trolley is full of vegetables and all that. I don't buy meat, I don't buy chicken, but I buy fish.
Okay.
So I was intrigued by this course because I'm always watching, and I'm really in love of the food and the layout. I spend a lot of time with you presenting, and I feel I'm in love with everything that you do. And also, thank you for your testimonials. They are really, really uplifting.
Oh, praise the Lord. Thank
That
you.
you look at yourself and then at my age, do I really want to, put children into trouble by, not leading the life that is supposed to be?
Yes.
Because at this point, you don't want to neglect your body. You don't want to neglect the life that God gave you. And in the Bible, it says that we should, this body is the body where Christ lives. So if you treat it that way, that Christ lives here, you should also eat properly because of that reason. And also, I've noticed that the way I eat, it does make a change in my life. Why? At my age, I'm now 66. And if I don't regularly go to the doctor, which means if I become a vegan, that will be good for me,
That would be brilliant.
That would be brilliant. And I'll also inspire others and also teach others how to look after themselves, and maybe come to a point that I'll set up my own business and leave work. Because if you look at it now, if I leave work, what will I do? So if I know that being a vegan, it helps, and people will be living a respective life, that will change someone's life.
Fantastic, fantastic, Junior. Definitely, you are at the right place. So we will definitely help you to make fantastic presentations and help you to get started as well with your business. How you want to take this after you've learned some things from this course. Wonderful. Fire tablet, are you ready? Fire tablet. Okay, I think Fire tablet doesn't realize that her tablet is named as Fire. I think she doesn't realize that it is her that she's on down as Fire. All right, Marian.
Sorry, Davina. Fire tablet cannot hear you. It's been silent for quite some time now. She can't hear anything.
Okay, all right, all right. Marian. Marion, Thelma, you may need to send her the YouTube link so she could see it. Marion, why are you here?
Hello, good evening. Okay, my name is Marion. I'm here because I am a vegetarian. I am a vegan, and I do struggle making the boring stuff every day, and I don't know how to think what to do. It's beans, and even my son and my husband, they would love to have I'm sure they would appeal to them to have the vegan diet, but because of the way the food is cooked,
yes,
it's not appealing. So it's just beans, and then I can't even have soya because I've got a really intolerant to soya, so I don't eat it. I get terrible migraine with soya
Oh,
products.
wow. All right, all right,
So
all
that
right.
makes it so difficult that the only thing I can eat is just beans. And
Wow.
yeah, so
All right, so you want a variety of dishes and how to spread them out in front of your family to wow them.
yes.
All right,
And
Carol.
Mm.
Carol Scooby. Nikki. Deborah.
Hello, this is Nikki.
Oh, lovely. Let us hear from you, Nikki. What are your expectations?
First of all, I want to say thank you for your testimony.
You're welcome.
And for many years, I was a vegan, but I started eating fish and chicken after some time because I was lacking nutrients and vitamins, basic vitamins. And then in Nigeria, because I'm from Nigeria and I live in Nigeria, it has been so difficult to find a variety of things to combine. So I want to learn how to combine the different foods that we can get locally and also get the nutrients. Apart from that, I also want to provide healthy meals for my family members. And I want to be like you also, teaching people how to
fantastic.
And then reversing diseases, because we have a lot of people that are hypertensive, that have diabetes.
Nigeria has people die at a very young age there.
Yes.
Yeah. So yes, there is work to be done in your community, indeed.
That's one major reason to help others. One major reason for joining this course. And most importantly, you must know my mom, Genevieve.
Genevieve, okay.
She paid for this course for me and my family to benefit.
Excellent.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. You will use this course to change not just your family's life, but it will impact your community as well with it. All right?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Elaine, have we heard from well, there's Elaine W and then there's Elaine.
Hi, Davina. Oh,
hello,
sorry, I've got another
Elaine.
device on. Hold on. Hello, is that better?
All right. And then it's going to be Dawn Higgins after Elaine.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. I can't hear you. Hold on. Right. Hello?
Hello.
All right. I can hear you now. I just thank you so much for your testimony. I've heard some of it before, and every time I hear it, it's just amazing and emotional, because I also had a health journey that I had to travel on, and many of the things you talked about, I experienced. And you made a very profound point before when you said that, you can teach people to take the herbs, but they can't live on the herbs. You know, you've got to be able to prepare the food in an appetizing way and be able to, eat nourishing food every day. I'm a vegan, and what I'm doing now, I'm trying to teach people how to become vegans.
Excellent.
And so I just really want to do this course so that I can be professional and know exactly what I'm talking about. And most importantly is actually getting people to try the food, and they won't even try it if it doesn't look right. I've seen people eat food which doesn't taste good, but it looks so nice, and they will try it and eat it. Whereas I make something that tastes nice, but it doesn't look that good, and they won't even
Nobody
touch
wants
it.
to even try it. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, I mean, that's really what I want to get out of it. And you just to learn, as much as I can. And I really want to take the second course as well, because that sounds really good. I'm training to be a medical missionary, so.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Good.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Lovely. We're going to take just two more, because I am aware of the time that we've already gone 12 minutes over. Should have finished at 7. We've got, people from all over in Central Africa time who it's like way past their bedtime now. So in terms of temperance, I will take the last two. Deborah, I see you're unmuted.
Sorry.
Oh, you want to share, Deborah?
Yeah, I was just saying, I sent a message. Yeah, thanks for your testimony. It was brilliant. I want to just explore the vegan aspect, because a lot of people in my family now having allergies to gluten, and my 5-month-old grandson's got eggs and dairy, and so it's just to utilize what knowledge you can share, so I can cook meals that all the family. And my son-in-law's got a nut allergy, so I think on the allergy front we've kind of covered all the bases.
Yeah. You've covered all of it, nuts and gluten. All right, no problem whatsoever. We will definitely fulfill your needs in this class by God's grace. Yes.
Okay.
I think you're at the right place. Thank God. All right, one last one, and then what we can do is in the group on the WhatsApp, you can always just give a two-liner of what are your expectations. If you did not get a chance to speak on this platform, you could just type it in the group. So one last person.
Okay, it's Dawn.
Excellent, Dawn.
Oh yeah, just well, to be fair, I've started on a journey, but I would call myself a leftover queen, and that's masking my lack of creativity. So we tend to have a lot of leftovers, and I'm just keen to know the science behind what certain foods and herbs, what do they do, what it's good for. Is it a mineral? Is it a vitamin? Sometimes I get confused with different types of foods. So this course hopefully is gonna answer these questions.
Yes, it will answer some of your questions, definitely. And then the other course that we're gonna do after that would probably be a good one for you. That's gonna be nutrition and health coaching, because then that will really go down into nutrients and minerals and stuff like that. Yeah, excellent. All right, I just want to say thank you very much to everyone who has come online tonight. We had 44, and it's now bedtime for most people. So we now have 33, which is fine. Some of the kids had to go to bed. Now, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 4 p.m. UK time. Use this very same link to join in the course, to join in the class at 4 o'clock. And we will forward again all the course materials that we have posted so far for the benefit of those who may have came in last. Remember, the bit that is typed up in text, you will want to look at that to be prepared for tomorrow's lesson. We will also send through some sort of video before the class that you could look at, and you will get an idea. Either we will pre-record one ourselves, or if we're not able to do that in time, we will send something from YouTube that really covers what we would like to say. Or we may send it in a voice note. Please have a good night. Sleep tight. Know that the Lord has put you in good hands. There's a team here. Some you have met, some you have not met as yet. But they're in the background, and they are here to support you on this journey. Just want to say God's blessings, and I will now ask Since Bussy is the closest to bedtime, I will ask her to pray to close.
Shall we bow our heads as we pray? Our Heavenly Father, we thank that we thank you for the inspiration that we have all gained from Davina and that transform how we eat and therefore to better our health and to reverse disease. But Father, you are the healer. You are also the greatest teacher that there is. And now, as we and everyone else, give us a good night's rest. Those to whom it is still daytime, be with them if we meet again tomorrow. Through Jesus Christ, our Redeemer and our King, we have prayed.
Amen. Thank you very much, Bussy, and thank you very much, everyone.